Hey everybody, welcome to the Save Point Show. We are live today on March 8th, guys. This is episode 7. Hey, how you doing? This is Save Point Show, and I am City67. With me, as always, is...
Cherry, hi!
Your Pandora. Hey, Chasm143.
And I am so happy to be here. So happy to be here and not at work at the moment. I just got home. Okay, no, I didn't just get home. I got home about maybe 2 hours ago. But still, it's good to be here. This is my happy place.
That's right. That's right.
How you guys doing today?
We're doing good.
Good, good. Oh, hey guys. How is everybody doing?
We're glad you made it.
Dave, Toraki, Katane. Hey, welcome to the show, guys. Let's see. What you guys been up to lately? What you guys been playing?
As usual, I've been playing my Sims, but I've also been playing some Diablo 3. So, kind of good. Oh, and 7 Days to Die with Kazlin and Sid. It was awesome. I want to play again. I think I'll play later tonight, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about... I wanted to really set up a server for that, but I don't have the extra funds right now for that, so I can't do it.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. Pandora, what you been up to lately? I know you were on this morning throughout the afternoon streaming today.
I was definitely streaming me, working more on the graphic novel. And just basically just trying to get my stream, at least halfway decent after running into so many technical issues over the last week. So it seems to be going pretty well.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of your artwork, man. You're coming back strong, man. You're gonna come back swinging strong, and there's not gonna have any problems, man. I know it. So, let's see. What have I been playing? I've been playing a lot of Destiny lately. I've been trying to get my gear up for the next DLC coming out soon. The House of Wolves and such like that. I've been playing a couple of indie games that the free games that were sent out on the PS4 this month. So I've been playing a game called Counter Spy, which I don't know, it just keeps drawing me back. It's a really repetitive game where you go and you infiltrate a base and you just try to get all the secrets and stuff. It's a stealth game, such and like that. Been playing some Qbert. Some good old-fashioned Qbert with the redo. Yeah. I've been playing another game called I think it's called This War of Mine. Something like that. What else have I played? Oh, Resogun. Resogun had some updates. So I've been playing some Resogun updates as well, too. So a lot of little bit of indie games and such like that, so... So, how's your week's been going? This week was a little. I have to admit, it was a little slow on the news side. I mean, it was a little hard to find some sources for specific things today. So, it was.
Did you leave me out for a reason?
Oh no, I didn't leave you out. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Kazan. It's been a long day.
No, we're not.
I'm so sorry.
I haven't played Dragon Ball Xenoverse.
That's right. Yeah, I have been watching you play that. I'm iffy about it. I know I don't care for Dragon Ball Z, but I don't know. Maybe that game might pull me in. So.
It's good. It's really grindy, but it's really fun. I mean, there's a bunch of different characters. You can either play as a Majin Buu, as a Buu. You can play as a Frieza, a Saiyan, a human, and a Namekian. So there's a lot of diversity in that. And there's 55 side missions, parallel quest missions, and then you have the story missions as well. The game is incredible. I had a lot of fun playing it. I've been playing that. I've been playing Star Wars, Republic again.
Now, what made you go back to Star Wars Republic? Because I used to play that too. And I kind of got burned out of it.
I like it because I like that I can go into it and play a character from start to finish and play their whole storyline. And not feel the same way when I pick up another character and play it through theirs. Because everybody has their own story.
Right.
So I mean, all the side quests, all the core mechanics are the same for each character, but you have the stories that you actually can sit there and play from start to finish and make your own story. So that's why I decided to pick it up and play it, because is it going to be a challenging MMO? Hell no. We all know it's not going to be. But I like it because it's just the diversity that you could, play the different characters over and over again.
Cool. What else you been... Sorry, go ahead.
I think that's about it.
And were you playing anything else? Anything of late?
I don't think I did.
It's been a slow week for all of us, I think, really.
We had a lot of stuff that happened in the middle of the week that really deterred us from doing a lot of things, but
yeah, so a couple of distractions, but we're back on track, man. So
we are back on track.
Yeah. Anything else? Yeah, anything else? I don't want to leave anybody out. I'm so sorry. Again, I really apologize for that. So,
okay, they'll tell you all about it.
I know. I'm gonna hear it for the rest of the week. I know it. And bring it on. Bring it on.
By your toes.
Oh no! Don't flog me with a wet noodle now. Come on now. All right. All right. All right. So there is a little bit of news out and about these days. There is a surprise, interesting concept here. Surprise! Comcast won't let anyone watch HBO Go on the PlayStation 4. Now, why is that? That is a shame, because HBO Go on the PS4 is amazing. If you're already paying for HBO through your cable provider, then you should have no problem watching HBO Go on your devices of your choice at home, right? So, but unless you're a Comcast subscriber, The Verge's Chris Welch points out that PS4 owners who also subscribe to HBO through Comcast still are not able to access the app on their devices, even though it's been released to the console earlier this week. As Engadget informed us, Comcast really is the only ISP where this is an issue. If you have subscribed to Time Warner Cable, Charter, or any other cable company, you'll be able to use HBO Go on the PS4 as long as you already pay for HBO beforehand. Because that's the entire point of HBO Go in the first place, right? But why is Comcast doing this?
Right.
That's an excellent question. Carl Bode flags Comcast's official explanation, and it really doesn't make a lick of sense. I read this when I looked at this article. I read this 5 times. I still don't understand what they're saying. So I'm gonna read this word for word here. Here's their full statement. With every new website, device, or player we authenticate, we need to work through technical integration and customer service, which takes time and resources. Moving forward, we will continue to prioritize as we partner with various players. That answers nothing. It answers a little bit, but I mean, it's...
Bottom line is they don't want to have 20 million people unsubscribe from HBO Go, HBO period, on their Comcast cable provider, and whether it's sign up through HBO themselves and they lose all that sales.
Right.
So why would they?
That's what it comes down to.
Because that's exactly what it comes down to. Because they're a greedy corporation. We saw it with the last couple of weeks with the net neutrality thing. Oh, we're trying to help out the small businesses. No, you're not. And then they come out of the blue and they complain about every little thing. Why can't we do this? You're probably the biggest cable provider in the country, and you still complain about little things here and there? Too bad. That's what I have to say to them is too bad.
Well, because ultimately, even though they say it's all about customer service, it's not. It's about the money. Customer service is what they use to get your money. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's what it ultimately comes down to. So are we supposed to be sympathetic to Comcast if there are actually any other providers out there who experience these hiccups? Except none do, right? So it's only Comcast. If AT&T and Verizon, Time Warner, and everyone else can get their acts together, why not the pride of Philadelphia? Welch also makes a very good point that this is the type of practice that the FCC should scrutinize when reviewing the proposed Comcast-TWC merger. After all, TWC has never had an issue with its subscribers accessing HBO Go on their devices. If it gets swallowed up by Comcast, we could see that a situation where the most dominant wireline ISP in the country would have the power to effectively block perfectively legitimate apps for no apparent reason. So there you have it. I mean, according to the International Business Times, they will be HBO new streaming service will be available in early April, ahead of much anticipated season 5 of the Game of Thrones for around $15 a month, and will stream through the Apple TV devices as well. So there you have it, man. I mean,
see, that's the whole thing is I don't see how they could do it, because if they don't own HBO Go,
right,
how the hell can they decide anybody or tell anybody that they can't watch something or pay for something that they don't own in the first place? Because they're providing the cable wire. Newsflash, we pay for it. We're allowed 100% access to it. Whether you believe us or not, that's the way it goes. And that's their biggest problem, is they think that they could dictate to us what, that whole thing, the thing that they're doing is ridiculous. I don't like what they're doing at all.
Yeah, it's just more
Well, I don't
scrutinized
understand
control.
it either.
I'm sorry, Panda, go ahead.
I mean, HBO Go is just an extension of HBO. I mean, in order to have HBO through Comcast, you have to pay Comcast. It's not a competitor, so I don't get this. Now, HBO Now will be a competitor because you're paying HBO to stream their content. But
Right.
HBO Go is just an application. It is just an extension of a service that you would be paying for on Comcast. I mean, because Comcast is a cable provider, so they offer HBO.
Right, 'cause you
I
have to
don't
have-
know how they can.
Yeah, you have to have HBO before you can have HBO Go, right? I mean,
Right.
Exactly.
So you're paying Comcast. If you have Comcast as your cable provider, you're paying Comcast for HBO. So how can they block an application which is really simply just an extension of the service? It's what HBO offers their subscribers as an extra content. It's a bonus. It's like, okay, so you paid for HBO through Comcast. We're going to give you HBO Go so you can use it on your tablets, your phones, whatever, your mobile devices. I mean, it's just an extension of the package that you're paying for. So basically, they're taking your money and giving you half the HBO package
absolutely.
that other customers on the other cable internet services they have. It's just, I don't see how they can do it and get away with it legally. I really don't.
Well, it's because of, again, I mean, you're taking money out of their pocket too, because of when it's starting in April, HBO is going to take, basically they're gonna cut ties with cable, where you don't have to pay cable anymore to pay for HBO. You can with a lot of these companies, what they're trying to do now is they're trying to cut cables. Period. They're trying to cut the cost of cable internet.
Well, do you blame them?
No, and I
No.
don't. It's like Dish Network. They came out with their own streaming service now, and they have a whole bunch of channels that they have, and then PlayStation is going to be doing their own. So in April, HBO is actually going to be going to that same type of service. Where you pay the $15 a month, you're going to get all HBO shows on your devices. So whether it be the PC, if you watch them on the PC, whether it be so I don't see how Comcast could actually block that, because I think it would be against the law. Because they're blocking the competitor, somebody accessing a competitive service over their internet. It's like why don't they do that to ESPN3? You know, it's stupid. It's them trying to monopolize what they don't control. And HBO Go, again, is going to be charged $15 a month. It's going to be its own streaming service. So you could pay that, or you could pay it to Comcast. It's up to you. If you want to eventually get rid of Comcast, you're going to see more and more of these high-end premium channels doing the same thing. Stars, I think, probably will be next because they have, a lot of shows that people watch. And once they all start doing it, these cable companies are not going to be able to support themselves than mind anything else because they don't have these pay channels in their fingertips anymore. And I think that's what Comcast is trying to stop.
Yeah.
Well, and do you think that this is also going to be...
Well, they're not going to be able to stop it.
No. Do you think that Google Fiber, when that comes and becomes mainstream, do you think that's going to be, do you think they'll have streaming services available? That they'll allow Google or HBO Go, or...
Oh, yeah, of course they would. Because Google Fiber is trying to come in here and basically upset these cable companies with these fiber optic lines that they're going to be putting in. Right, yeah. And they're doing it intentionally, exactly.
Yeah.
Because, I pay, I think, $89 for my service, okay? I get 135 megabytes download and 25 megabytes upload. So, when Google Fiber comes here, nobody's going to... And what the problem is, we only have, up here where I live, we only have Comcast and we have Verizon. Which we all know Verizon's internet is horrible.
What?
Compared to Comcast's, compared to Comcast's cable, okay. But when Google Fiber comes here, these two companies are probably not going to be. Nobody's going to be going to them unless they lower their prices. Because if Google Fiber is going to come here and give me 1 gigabyte, 1 gigabyte per second. Download and 500 megabytes per second upload for $50 a month,
and that would be their lowest package.
That would be Comcast. Just doesn't no way they compete with themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not going to happen.
It's like almost like the closest you can come to a T1 line as possible. So yeah.
Well, I'd like to kind of like to make a point here too. Yeah. If you guys can remember, I don't know if you guys remember or not, but this thing, Kaz was saying it's HBO is trying to take money out of Comcast's pocket. I kind of see that point to a degree, but here's kind of what I want to pitch out there. Comcast has been giving HBO trouble with HBO Go since the invention of HBO Go, which is not a streaming service. It's just an extension of HBO itself. It's you're not paying extra for that. You're paying your internet or your cable provider to get HBO Go. And they've been blocking them since the PlayStation 3 has been around. So if you're an HBO executive and you've got the largest cable provider in the country causing you problems with their application and getting it out there for people to use, wouldn't that make you sit down and discuss alternatives? And maybe this HBO Now, which is their breakaway from cable, is the reason why they created HBO Now in the first place, so that companies like Comcast cannot affect their ability to get to consumers.
Oh, did we just lose audio?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay. No, it was just maybe a delay. Okay. Yeah, I mean... So that Toraki says all it would take is a good lawyer and a class action lawsuit, and that's
it's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can guarantee that that's probably coming.
And it'd be bad news for Comcast yet again because then it will be smeared all over the news and internet again. Oh,
Well, I mean,
don't know what they're thinking.
the only thing I can say is they like news. They like to be in the middle of the news there. That's all I can say. Off a little bit of the subject of the HBO thing. Uncommon subject. Has an uncommon subject. Uncommon subject asked, what's our opinion on the prices in Canada? Their Xbox One is only $200. Now I don't know all the prices in Canada between the differences. Oh, well, Kazan didn't like that, so.
I'll get him back.
We'll get him back in a
Sure,
second
there's
here.
his opinion
That's
on that.
that's his opinion on the prices in Canada for Xbox One. He hangs up and messes up the
He
windows.
was like this. Click.
Click. Well, no one can see us because it just shifted all our windows over. So. Oh.
Says he's busy.
Uh-oh.
Hope he didn't lose internet.
We'll try to get him back.
I'll keep trying to get him back, Sid.
I'm gonna make a makeshift thing here real quick. Hopefully I got everybody here. There we go. Oops. Wait. What? Sorry about that. Desktop region. Add.
Technical. There he is. We're back.
We're back. Alright. And we're all discombobulated
No, I
now.
wouldn't.
You okay, Caslin?
No, I don't know why. I just decided to just wanted to shut off, do one of those stupid shut off things again.
Okay. Well, next we have is Titch's tips, and she's going to go through her Sims tips.
Oh, was you going to address the question?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, you need to
I got
finish.
totally
We got
distracted.
sidetracked because of the technical issue.
I'm now just looking at our screen. Is that we're all shifted over, and so Titch is now your Pandora. Your Pandora is now Caslin. I don't understand why it doesn't just give us the same windows every time, but I'll fix that in a second.
Does that mean I get to be able to draw like Pandora?
Yes, absolutely.
Sweet.
So yeah, the I don't know.
can do it.
I don't know if Caslin caught the question. It was the what's our opinion on the prices in Canada? The Xbox One is $200. And I was saying that I'm not familiar with all the prices in Canada, but I mean $200 for an Xbox One, I'd still have to think about buying one. I'd still really have to think about that. But I mean, if I was going to the console and wanted the Xbox One, everyone had the Xbox One, $200 is not bad.
No. My personal opinion is I think that they'll continue to drop the prices until they feel like either A, they come up with a better concept or update it through software to where it's more competitive with the PS4, or they just simply do away with it and come up with a different console altogether. That's my opinion. What's your opinion, Caslin?
I don't know too much about the prices of what between their dollar and our dollar. So
Right.
I don't know if that's. I can just tell you what's going to happen in the United States. Is for what it's starting $350 here. It's going to drop down to $300, and it's going to do that before the PlayStation even has a chance to drop down. I'm not saying that one's better than the other because we all have our opinions on which console's better than that, and we'll talk about a console I think is going to murder both of them, and we'll talk about that a little later on. But I don't think that even when they do drop the price, they have a lot of technical issues, like me and Pandora were talking about earlier, yesterday. But I think what happens as soon as they implement Windows 10, it's going to fix 99% of their problems, and not to mention the integration that is going to happen between PC, Xbox, and cell phones, all merge. You'll be able to do everything on each one of them, and I think that's going to do nothing but help the Xbox's cause.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at my cat, not you, Councilman.
Interesting.
See,
So,
she
Will,
attacked the shoulder buddy.
you have an infestation of shoulder buddies on your shoulders. so okay. So well, we'll I'll probably I'll try to look into a little bit more about the differences in the prices, and we'll see if we can bring that up on our next topic then. So let's see. Up next, we like I said, we have Titch's tips, and she's going to give us the lowdown on some Sims tips and such.
That's right. We've got some interesting things that I'm going to go over. All of you know that I play The Sims on my stream, but I thought I would give you guys some tips on how to take care of your Sim. A well-cared-for Sim is a happy Sim. And while how many friends Sims will have, what they do for a living, and whether they pursue a romantic relationship to build a family are up to the player. Some elements of gameplay and caring for Sims are common to anyone playing The Sims 4. Today, I'm going to focus on filling their needs, the process of aging, and a small introduction to emotions and how those will work. We'll also touch on making money by joining a career or adopting a skill next week. Although they naturally will be added, things will be added through the expansion pack. The new expansion pack comes out in April, and we're really excited about that. So if you could queue up image 2, we will talk about creating Sim concepts, traits, aspirations, and age. While creating your Sim, the look of their outfits for various occasions and walk style are entirely up to you and do not affect gameplay. They're just aesthetics. And the aspirations are the life goals for the Sims that reward them with extra traits. And what an aspiration is, that's like a lifetime wish. It's the absolute, the thing that your Sim's heart desires the most. The Sims want to achieve this and will receive a reward trait upon completion of that aspiration. Then you can actually select a different aspiration for your Sim. When you select an aspiration, no matter what it is in Sim creation, it comes with a bonus trait. And these cannot be changed, although the aspirations can be changed at any time. You don't have to complete an aspiration to actually change it over. You may switch it by simply going to the aspiration icon at the bottom right hand of your menu, and then you click on the star after that comes up. So each aspiration has milestones to complete, at which point you get another set of goals. During that process, they will gain satisfaction points to spend at the rewards store. And the rewards can be anything from a potion that makes your Sim live longer to a simply a trait enhancer. So you can actually, get more traits. The satisfaction that comes from completing goals of later milestones will give you gobs of reward trait points. So learn about the aspirations requirements and the bonus traits, because aspirations can be switched at any time. Knowing their objectives can be very handy. After all, you can pause and have a look at the list at any time. When your Sim is not pursuing painting, but rather doing some cooking or socializing, you can pick an aspiration related to that. So let's say you have the aspiration goal of becoming a master chef. You're going to want to do the trait or the related things, the activities, to actually achieve that aspiration. So one of the things is throwing a dinner party and getting a silver medal for it. At that point, your sim actually will progress in the aspiration goals. So if you get all of the aspiration goals that are in that section, you get a reward trait for it. So another thing that you want to look at is selecting good traits that may help your sim succeed in life. The traits, you start out with 3 traits upon the creation, or aging up, you actually get an extra bonus trait. And then you also get a bonus trait from your aspiration. Traits determine sim behavior, animations, and give gameplay bonuses and or penalties. Your sim can be insane, that's a penalty. Your sim can be a slob, that can be a penalty. Reward traits come in 2 forms: the rewards you receive for completing aspirations and those purchased from the reward store. The reward store is found by simply clicking the gift on the aspiration menu. And the cost of aspiration gained from aspiration goals and wins, there's an achievement for having a sim with 12 traits. And once you get that achievement, I talked about achievements last week, you actually get achievement points, which right now aren't worth anything, but I have heard rumor that Maxis is working on some kind of reward on their website that you'll be able to purchase additional things for your sims. And can you load up image 4 for me, Sid?
There you go.
Thank you. There's an achievement for having a sim with the 12 traits, as I said. You will ultimately get a reward trait from aspirations, and this can make for sims with superpowers who do not need to use the restroom or make money selling their items. Lifespan settings. In the Sims 4, you can determine how your lifespan will go as your sim ages. They can have a long life or a short life. And it's always best to make your sim as a young adult so that they have more time to level skills, advance their careers, and develop a relationship with other sims before their elderhood and their ultimate death. Sims can avert death by purchasing the Potion of Youth, as I mentioned before, or by drinking the essence from a dead sim in a cow plant. We talked about cow plant last week. Once in the game, age setting can be changed at any time by going to the age options. You just press escape or the 3 little dots on the top right-hand corner of your menu. The Sims will have an appropriate amount of their life used. However, if you went from short life halfway through adulthood, they'd only have 40 days left on long. When Sims become elders, they will eventually die as if nothing is done. And you can see on a graph, a long life an adult will have about 80 full sim days. On normal, they'll have about 20, and on short, they'll have about 10. Death varies per sim, so you really can't judge that. I've had sims live 92 days, I've had sims live 150 days and more. So while the Sims age up automatically as their birthday approaches, they may be aged up manually by baking any type of cake and clicking on it to add birthday candles. Then, having that Sim blow out the candles, Sims of all ages, elder aside, may do this. If you have an elder blow out candles, the result would be that they die, so they don't have the ability to do that. Babies just need some help. And this is no longer a cheat. It used to be in Sims 3 that you actually had to do a cheat to age up your babies. You don't need to do that anymore. Aging up is useful to stop needing to care for children, assuming that begins to bother you on a longer game. You may need this with teen or adult Sims on a longer game and find it's just too long for some Sims, while you're happy with it for others. Image 5 will show you their needs. Hunger, bladder, hygiene, energy, and social and fun are needs you must manage. There are 6 needs, aka motives, in The Sims 4 that will drain and put stressful moodlets on your Sims when they nearly depleted that prevent them from taking other actions. If your sim has to go to the bathroom and they're hungry, it depends on which need is further decayed. Although the game will alert you by coloring the needs icon. When a sim's needs near low, you can view them at any time by pressing the O or clicking on the bottom right. Only one type of need being depleted will kill a sim, starvation, but it takes a very long time. That is realistic. All others simply make it so that the sim will not do many optional tasks, like painting or collecting something, until that need is met. Their mood will grow worse and worse, and as time wears on, clicking any of the need icons while on that interface will bring you the option to auto-solve that need using surrounding objects. You click on the bladder one, and it's the toilet paper icon. It will run to the bathroom, the closest bathroom. This is good for managing a larger family, but most players would be better off by choosing what their sim will do in order to use their time efficiently. Image 6 shows you that taking care of your sims and keeping their needs high will reward you with a +1 to +2 happy moodlet, which is based on the needs average levels. Learning to manage your time and get your sims in a good mood while working on sims out in the town, on your skills or on the job, are keys to success in the game. That's it. If the sim is a happy sim, they'll have a happy life. Next week, I'll be going over a few more gameplay tips, especially how the emotions will affect their needs. Until then, happy simming. If you'd like to send me any questions, again, titchery@stixbroadcasting.com.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Titch. And there you have it. We have Titch's tips, and she has that every week for us. And if you guys have any, like she said, any questions at all about Sims, she is the Sim guru. We are not worthy. So thank you very much, Titch.
Oh, you guys are worthy. You're welcome.
All right. Let me fix this real quick here. Because, instead of switching around your pictures, I'm just going to take your nameplates off. That's fine. So, all right, man. So, next we have up is Pandora's and Pandora's Box. What do you have for us today, Pandora?
Actually, I was just kind of winging it today. I've been, doing a lot of reading and, talking to you guys a lot. And there's one thing that we all seem to do as far as gamers are concerned and movie buffs, to review things, right?
Absolutely.
Everybody's opinion. So I've just been kind of reading reviews at some of the top spots, the Game Informer, IGN. Whether you like them or not is a completely different subject. That's a debatable thing that we can discuss at a later time. But what I was really wanting to talk about is how games have evolved, but it seems game reviewing has not. If you pay attention to a lot of these reviews, they're the same today as they were, say, 10 years ago. They pretty much use the same formats. They pretty much use the same rating scales. And it just seems to me that a lot of the reviews that are being written today really don't take into account how video games have evolved in themselves. So the media has changed, but the reviewing has not. And so when you go out...
Uh-oh. What just happened? Did I leave? Shit. Hold on, guys. I'm still on air. I've got no Uvu. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on 1 second while we have technical difficulties here.
There we go.
Okay, hold on, guys. I'm so sorry. That
Yeah,
it's
Are you
it's
okay?
we
you know,
paused for you.
Kazlin did it. I did it. Interesting. All right, let me bring this back up.
You know, if I wasn't superstitious, which I am, you know, you can hire hackers online, you know, just saying. Not cool.
Well, Ubu has stability issues anyway.
Yeah, I think
Always
it's Uber.
has.
I think it is. I think it's Uber.
Hold on, guys. I gotta remove this. I gotta remove something else. Hold on, gotta remove this too. Alright.
Are we even broadcasting?
Oh, we're broadcasting.
Yeah.
It's just I've got no video. There we go. Sorry about that, guys.
There you go.
We're back. Alright, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
Slims, the joke is live on Twitch. That's right, buddy. We are a lot of jokesters here. We have a lot of fun. Anyways, I did want to keep going until you were back, bud.
Well, this,
So I was
you
waiting
know,
for you
the
to
Save
get back.
Point, the Save Point show is not the Save Point show without a few technical glitches. So, you know,
Of
carry
course not.
on, my wayward son. All right, go ahead, man.
Well, anyways, picking up where I left off. Basically, it's just when you read a lot of these reviews, you know, you just kind of have to take into consideration that the reviewing system to me is really outdated. It doesn't take into account a lot of the new features that video games offer. I know they try to do it, but it's not really effective when their rating system is exactly the same as it was and has always been. So, you know, it's one of those things that when you're reading these reviews today, you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt, you know. And that's kind of why anymore I've just been when it comes to reviewing of games and things, I've pretty much just kind of left it in the air. And I've pretty much just been taking the word of friends rather than review sites and recommendations through people I know, more so than you know, credible review sites. Because, like I said, again, I think that their systems are as good intentions as they have. They don't seem to you know, get the modern games as well as they should. So I think a lot of things are left out, and it's kind of hard to rate games today on these old scales that they had, these 1 to 10s and these, especially these 1 to 5s. Well, I give it a 5-star. There's too many aspects to a video game to just kind of in just a few stars, you know. There's so many aspects to games. Basically, I think video games has way outgrown most review sites, you know, review scale. That's why when we were talking about setting up our own reviewing scale, we went with the 100-point scale. You know, because there are so many categories and so many factors in what a video game is today that, you know, a 1 to 5 is really, to me, is really unfair when you got guys spending literally years of their lives creating these works of art and you just try to wrap them up in a 5-point scale. I feel a little bit about the same way with a 10-point scale. Although that's a little bit more breathing room, you know, it still doesn't seem to quite give back to these creators. A reviewer doesn't really have a lot of room to work to give a full review because you're limited to 10 points. Whereas like with us, we discussed it and we thought, wait a minute, why not give it 100 point? So, there are a lot of things that you can take into consideration when reviewing games. And so that is the one thing that I was noticing, is that there's a lot of these trends to try to keep the review scales simple. But my opinion is that by doing that, you're really robbing these creators fair reviews because you're crunching. You're trying to crunch your reviews into a small point scale, and a lot of things get left out, in the review process. And so with all of us being reviewers, I felt like this would be something that I could throw on the table and get everybody's opinion on.
I try not to really rate. I don't like putting a number to it because, just like you said, there's just too much to actually cover, in especially in games these days. I guess putting it in a number helps viewers or readers or other people that are watching a review put it in a better perspective. In other words, but I mean, I did the Dying Light one, which I know I should have been doing the Order 1888 again. I apologize, I haven't done it yet, but I didn't really put a number for it because I just don't feel like there should be a number. But that's just me. I feel that a review should just come from the heart. This is how I really feel about it, and then that's what I put into it. But if I were going to use a scale system, I mean, the 100-point system would be as close as possible for me. I know Kazan had something to say.
Yeah, I like the 100-point scale that we came up with because of you can have a few points off in certain categories, it's still pretty much get a good score. So unless that category is really crucial to your judgment of the game, then obviously that wouldn't be a good game for you because you don't like that judgment part of it. But it's matter of fact, I watched a review the other day and I almost died laughing of how bad it really was. It was about Dragon Ball Z Xenoverse. Okay. Now, this is a game that is getting more flack and bad scores than it needs to. It got worse scores than Unity got. And Unity is a broken pile of mess. I know, Pandora, you like the game, but I'm not discouraging how bad the game is broken. Okay? Here is a broken game who gets a higher score than a working game. I don't think that's right at all. And I'm not trying to defend Xenoverse because I like the game. But when the lady who was reviewing it was saying, I don't like the difficulty of it, I had to beat up these 3 Saiyamen, and then there's 3 more came, it was really difficult, and she made it sound like it was so difficult that you couldn't get off of it, and you had to spend hours and hours and hours grinding for it, and that has nothing to do with what it was. She was basically deciding that the game was too difficult without even actually getting to the point where it was starting to get difficult.
But again, that's too difficult for her part. It might not be too difficult for someone else.
But it wasn't difficult at all. She was saying it was monotonous and it didn't need to be in the game. No. Because, again, we live in an age where people, and I hate to say this, but it's instant gratification. I want it, and I want it now, and I don't want to work for it. Where Dragon Ball Z is not like this, and that's why I kind of like it a lot, because it reminds me of a game that I told De'Aaron that you guys watched me play it the other night, Phantasy Star Online. How it has that, the drop rates and the grinding and the way that the gameplay is. And the review scores are totally not what they should be, because bottom line, they are opinions. They're opinions of the people reviewing them, okay? But we also know that big companies like to grease the pockets of some of these big review sites and give them a couple extra dollars to say, hey, listen, this game's, give it a good score. We'll give you, a couple of hundreds to make up for it. That's not how it should be. It shouldn't be that way at all. It should be a bottom. And again, I think your review of Dying Light is better than a lot of the reviews I've seen. And I'm not saying it because you're my friend, Sid. I'm saying it because you, bottom line, you said it from your heart.
It was open.
You explained everything. Right.
Is it the right word? Non-objective?
You laid it all out there to be, on a whole. You said, everything about, and we discussed it before you posted it,
Yeah.
You maybe talk a little bit more about this, and you went back and fixed it. And
Absolutely.
it's because we all kind of think the same way when it comes to review scores, where we want to make sure that everybody, when we put one out there, we want it to be the best and most informative review that we can make. Whether it be a 10-minute review, a 15-minute review, it's going to be however long it is to get the facts that we need to put into being out there. And a lot of these, like I said, I don't watch IGN reviews anymore. If I do, I watch it to laugh at them. I watch game trailers more than anybody else. Game trailer reviews are a little bit more. I'm not saying that they are better off, but I think that they are done more correctly.
Well, because the game trailer is not trying to. The game trailer is not trying to, go. Oh well, this is our opinion of the game. This is our game. These are the best highlights of our game, and this is what we're trying to sell you on. And that's why I agree with you. I like trailers better than reviews, because that would get me more interested in the game.
And I mean, do I read reviews? Yes, but I watch like GameTrailers.com when they put.
Oh no.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew he was gonna I knew he was going out because he was breaking up on my end.
Skype?
Maybe this is a good time for us to take a break.
All right.
And regroup.
Let's do that. Okay, guys.
God, I hate this software.
Do you guys want to switch to Skype?
Probably be better off.
Yeah, I mean, you might have a better luck. I apologize. I know I'm going to have to redo the windows for you guys, but that's not going to be a problem. I'll do that on the fly with you guys. We're going to take a little bit of break, and we're going to get on Skype, and we'll be right back with you guys, okay? And we'll continue with this discussion. I can't talk tonight. What the hell? I'm having my own technical difficulties. I can't talk. Okay.
Right.
All right, guys. So I'll leave you with the trailers to the upcoming the game releases, and we'll be back in a minute. Okay, well, let's try this again. Hey, we're back. Everybody can hear us, right? Hello, hello.
Hello.
We are back.
Awesome. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Took our break. And we were discussing... We were going to finish up our discussion with Pandora's Box, and we were talking about... oh my gosh. We were talking about reviews. We're talking about game reviews and how reviews, this on a, instead of a 5-point scale or a 10-point scale, should be a more broader range. So, I think Kazan was left off, or Titch, or either Kazan or Titch. You guys want to start us off on the end segment here?
Go for it, Kaslin.
Yeah, we just basically were talking about the same thing, just the whole review system. I don't think that it works right, and it needs to be fixed. Or they need to hire people who actually care about video games and review them instead of letting these people I understand how it works, and if I'm handed a game that I have no interest in playing, or I have no interest in that genre, why am I gonna even attempt to give that game a score that it deserves if I don't even like those type of games to begin with? And a lot of it has to do with stuff like that too. But I just think that they need to do something to liven it up, or even like us. We're so busy with everything else, it would be nice to actually get people in here to do a lot of the reviews for us. But
Sure.
Again, there's nothing we can do about that yet. We're working on it. We're trying everything we can to get what we can get, but it's not easy.
No, definitely not easy. Yeah, and I mean, I'm a prime example of not easy because, again, like everyone knows, my work schedule is crazy. I want to do these reviews. I really want to do them. Filming, editing, writing up the review, voiceover work, putting it together, like, again, that goes with editing, is so time consuming. And it takes a lot of time to do that. And then, especially when you want to do something that you really feel dear about it. And it's not just, pumping it out like some of these professional reviewers do, that they, do this, that's all they do. So, and then, you don't get a really good review because they're kind of, they're kind of desensitized to it. They're reviewing game after game after game. They're like, it's the same thing with the movies, they're like, oh, this critic says that the movie was terrible, but did he really watch the movie? This thing was phenomenal, right? You see that all the time. So I think it's
Right.
Yeah, I think it's a factor that these professional reviewers get just so desensitized about. Okay, this is what I've seen this before. This is the same type of genre of game. They're all the same, and they'll just put it in that category and not even really think about it. So I think that's another problem.
You know how I am about movies. If a critic says that they don't like it, I'm going to go see it and I'm going to form my own opinion. I'm the same way with games. Just because you say you don't like it, that doesn't mean anything to me. I may love it.
Absolutely, and I think I think that's why reviews need to be a more non-objectional type of review. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, now what I was going to say is, since I kind of started it off, is if you really look at the people that are doing reviews, I get a lot of the sense that they're not journalists for one. They're I mean, you don't take journalism school to become a game reviewer. You know what I mean? It's not like there's a game review college or a movie review college. And these people are just people who enjoy movies or people who enjoy games, and they think they can write reviews. What I'm saying is, if you're going to review a game or even a movie, it's a product, okay? Like, when we talk about AC Unity, as much as I love playing AC Unity for the game that it is, I have, as a reviewer and part of Styx Broadcasting as our group, I have an obligation to say this game is broken. There are be problems with this game, because at the end of the day, video games are a product. Our opinions of these games are really not relevant. In the end, we put these games in, we're supposed to play them for what they are, make sure they work, if the buttons mash, if you hit the trigger, does the weapon fire? You know, that's a review. It is a product. Your opinion really shouldn't even factor into it, because I don't really care what another human being's opinion of a video game is. I just want to know if it works. Is it a first-person shooter? How many hours is it? Is it a co-op? Is it got online play? Does the soundtrack do what it's supposed to do? Do the weapons work when you're supposed to do? I want to know what this game does and how it plays. I don't want to know what you think about the game. I'm a consumer. Convince me to buy it. But your opinion of it is not relevant to me. And that's why I think that a lot of these people that are writing reviews want to insert their opinions and they leave out the facts. Like AC Unity is a broken game. In the end of the day, AC Unity is a broken game. Do you want to spend $60 for a game that's broken? Okay, if you're a fan of the franchise, you're taking a risk, because this game has got problems. That's a review. But to say it's a great game, it's blah blah blah, you know, that's your opinion. A game like Unity had that whole, remember what we was talking about a couple of weeks ago, how they had that whole block on the review to come out. So people have gone out and rushed in to buy this game, for 12 hours, and they didn't. Right. The review didn't come out until 12 hours after the game went on sale. So by that time, they've already made all that money, and there's nothing they can do to. So when you have companies that do this to people too, you can't get an honest review out of anything, because they know the game's broken, so they put an embargo on it saying, listen, you can't do this, you can't put out a review because we're still going to make the money because we want people to go out and buy it right now. And then, yeah, you can release a review, but you got to release it 24 hours after or 12 hours after it comes out. That's the problem. All these corporate companies come out and put their 2 cents where we all understand it's a business. Okay, we all understand you got to make money, yada, 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 but you got to do it the right and correct way. You make it worse for everybody else.
And I have a little bit of a different feeling about reviews than Pandora does. I mean, I believe that, yes, reviews should weigh solely on facts. That I agree with you 100%. But I also feel that, the writer, that the person that's reviewing it, I want to see a little bit of his opinion. Because if I know a little bit of his opinion, he gives me his honest opinion, I know that he's actually gone and done the work to actually play this game and review this game. So I do want to know what his feeling is, but I don't want it so much that he is trying to push that his opinion is fact. And that's where a lot of reviewers were going. That's where a lot of reviewers are trying to are doing, and they're not actually reviewing the game. They're just expressing their opinion as fact. And I don't care for that. Yes, express those facts in the line, and then give you a little bit of taste of what you think of the game is, and give your honest opinion about it.
Right. Well, let me insert a little bit on there. Just to clarify what I'm saying is, I'm agreeing more with you than you realize. Yeah. What I'm saying is, your opinion should not be the review.
Right. Yes. Exactly.
What I'm getting at.
Yes.
Your opinion of the game should be your final thoughts. That should be your final thoughts. It should not. The opinion of the game should not actually be the review itself. That's what I'm getting at. They need to talk about the game. They need to set up the if a game's got a storyline, discuss the storyline a little bit. Discuss the characters that are within the game, what the game is about. All the factual things of what this game is. Okay.
Give me
that when you do finally do right, when you finally get to the wrap up, when you get to the end, your final thoughts. It makes sense when you give your opinion.
Should be a short synopsis. It should be like the title of the game, the short synopsis, what you do in the game, how the gameplay works, how the mechanics works, how the graphics are, how the sound is. final thoughts.
Exactly.
Right, and that's why I was saying when you put all four of us together, you have everybody's different opinion, okay, on
Absolutely.
the game. So, people will tend to agree with you, Sid. You know, and then people tend to agree with, I don't agree with Sid. I agree with Pandora instead.
That's fine with me.
That's why I'm saying I like the reviews that people do put their opinion in it, but their opinion is who they are. Because what in return is, when I watch this review, I'm like, and the more and more I watch the reviews from this one guy, and he has his opinions in it, at the end of this, like Pandora says, put it at the end. I'll get to know what kind of games that this guy likes, and I'll be able to get to know if I like or I agree with his opinion or not.
And
that's the whole thing. There's not enough of that.
I really want a reviewer saying, in his part of the opinion, if, hey, I didn't really care for this game because I'm not a FPS shooter type person. I don't really get into. I'm more of an RTS person, real-time strategy. I'm more of an MMO. I don't, hey, at least you're being honest, and
Be honest.
Okay, he doesn't like the game, but he doesn't really play first-person shooters that much. I'm gonna weigh that a little bit differently now that I'm thinking about the game. So I mean, at least you're honest with that, and it's like, oh no, well this is a terrible game because this is this, and I'm an expert at FPS and like this. When you don't even play that, or that type of genre of game,
And that's what I was saying before too.
Yeah.
If you don't like a game, why
Say
should you even be reviewing it in the first place? But
yeah.
not even have to say it, because if you don't even like those type of games, why are you handed a review copy? Like, if I don't like first-person shooters, why am I handed a goddamn copy of Halo? What's the purpose of me reviewing a Halo game if I don't like first-person shooters? I'm sorry. It just blows my mind every time that they do this.
Now I can understand if they get a game and go, well, I'm not a fan of this type of genre, but originally when I first started playing, I thought it was going to be this. I can understand that. But yeah, if I don't like first-person shooters and they hand me Halo, yeah, I mean that's a given. I mean, yeah. But something like Life is Strange. Yeah. Life is Strange. I have no idea how the gameplay is. It could be a first-person shooter, as far as I know. But I don't know. From the trailers I've seen, it looks like a point-and-click adventure, but it's probably not. So there are those fine lines. But no, I totally agree with you. If it's it's a first-person shooter game like Call of Duty, Halo, Destiny, that's a given.
Yeah.
I just don't like the way
review genres you don't like.
Right, and that's what I said. That's my ultimate. That's my argument out of this whole thing is, if you're handed a copy of something that you don't play, then don't review it. Say, sorry, I don't play this game. I can't give it an honest opinion, and I can't give my honest facts about this game because I do not like these series. That's like me trying to play, a series which I don't like. It'd be like a slap in the face. It really would be a slap in the face to all those fans that love this genre, and me coming around and saying, well, the fact is, yada, 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 the lights are not low enough, they don't give that good of an atmosphere, yada, yada, yada. Well, in return, it's not supposed to give that much an atmosphere because it's a goddamn shooter. Too bad. That's... And again, I hate to sound like an asshole or a negative Nancy here, but... that's what I've seen. I've seen too much reviews to see that this happens all the time. I'm not a fan of Destiny. Why am I not a fan of Destiny? I don't like certain aspects of Destiny. Do I think that it's still a good game? Of course I do. I think that it did a few things right. I think it did a few things wrong. And I played Destiny because I wanted to see what the hype was about. Okay, I played Destiny. I mean, I'm not a done everything that there is to do in Destiny, but I played it enough to form my own opinion on the game. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and say Destiny's the best game in the world because I'm getting paid to say that because I'm in Bungie's pocket. But besides,
let me tell you one thing, that Destiny is like a perfect 100% game. There is no flaws in this game. Thank you. Thank you. And anyways, Destiny is more so, there's nothing other than Destiny. Thank you. Thank you.
But that's, I mean, that, out of all the, I mean, we've all been playing games for, 20, 30 years. I mean, 30 years for me. So, I all my lifetime,
not going as long as I've been playing games.
I've only seen a few perfect games. That's it. And that's saying that they're 100% perfect, but I've seen them close to being 100% perfect. And I can name them on one hand. That's it. One. That's it. And
that's how it
might
should
love
be.
Other games, right. And that's why I'm saying that there's games that are up there that don't deserve the score that they get. Again, Xenoverse, Dragon Ball Z. And why is the fans giving it 8.0 or 8.5, and Metacritic are giving it a 6.0. Now, if I'm an investment backer, and I'll go into that later on with my corner, but if I'm an investment backer, I'm going to listen to the fans over these stupid-ass critics that are giving this a 6.0. If the fans like the goddamn game, guess what? They're the ones who goddamn buy the game. They're the ones who buy the game. So why are you going to tell them, we can't release this game anymore, or we can't make this game anymore because Metacritics, God forbid, Metacritics gave it a bad score.
All right. Well, we could go on and on with this discussion, and I
tell us how you really feel, Kaz. Tell us how you really feel.
You mad, bro? You mad?
LM Ladybug, you might need to get him an ice pack.
All right.
I think I touched a nerve with him tonight.
No, I'm very opinionated. Sorry, if you don't like my opinion, there's the door.
Yeah,
that's
Oh, no, we
honestly,
love it.
that's why we love you, Kaz. So, all right. Well, we do have a couple of indie games this week that we want to go over. The first one is called Troll and I, and this was interesting. I think this is just early pre-alpha footage that they're still testing.
Gameplay,
and still,
yeah.
It's a little bit of gameplay. It's still the game's still in the works. I'm not sure what it's about, but it looks interesting. So why don't we take a look at that real quick? So that is the Troll and I. So that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, there's actually I can tell you everybody what it's about.
Sure, yeah.
Instead of just looking at it. It's set in the 1950s. It's you take it. It's going to be an episodic, I guess, game. So they're going to release episodes at a time. But it's a third-person episodic action adventure. You take the role of both players. You take the role of the boy, and you take the role of the troll.
Okay.
And you flip back and forth between both players. But use each other to get through obstacles in the game. It looks like during the trailer you saw him. He was sitting on the boy was sitting on the troll's shoulder, and he had to be lifted up to a higher. So I think it's going to be really unique and different in how you use both these characters together. Flipping back and forth. But the game looked really interesting to me, and it's being developed by an indie studio, but it's also being backed by Square Enix, because Square Enix, they're collectively now funding some of these smaller indie development, which I think is amazing.
That is amazing. It's really cool. I did see Square Enix's name in there, but I didn't realize they were backing it. I thought they were actually producing it, or not producing it, but making it. So, but yeah, that's cool. I like that.
They do that, and that's what I'm saying. They're starting to do this a lot. What's is nice is, again, they're backing the project, and they're backing them on crowdfunding, to get the money out there or whatever. But they're also putting them on with their name on it. So we all know that anything that Square Enix puts their name on,
it's going to be quality.
Pretty much gold.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Because of how they do things.
They're very meticulous about their stuff.
Right, and I really enjoy what they're doing with this, because and it helps. Again, that's something we're trying to do as well. We're trying to promote these indie games where a lot of these other guys don't do that. A lot of these other shows. So I wasn't a huge fan of indie games until the last maybe 2 years or so, and they've grown on me more than I could tell you, because I love certain things about it. And,
That's funny that you say that, because I'm the same exact way. There was actually, and Titch will tell you, there was actually a point in time where I'm like, I am tired of all these indie games. Please stop. I just want brand new games. Stop with the indie games. But just like you, they've grown on me. And there's a couple indie games out there that are really, really cool and really, really fun. So I think this has been the generation of indie games.
Yeah, and again, we'll talk about this again in my corner. I don't want to keep on trying to bring it up, but
no problem.
But Troll and I'll probably end up picking this up too.
Cool.
It's an episodic game. I'll probably pick it up.
All right. So the next one we have is called The Bug Butcher. This we don't actually have a trailer. I looked all over the place for a trailer, but they only have a weapon showcase. So it's a little bit of the gameplay, and it's showing different types of weapons. It looks like a cool 2D side-scroller game. It reminds me, oh my gosh, it reminds me of a little bit of like a Brick Out, but more of a moving type thing. But let's take a look at it here. Oops. Of course, I clicked the wrong button.
Hey, when we get back, I'll explain what this game's about.
Hold on 1 second. Having technical difficulties again.
Oh boy.
So this game, the XSplit just doesn't want to move. There we go. There, now we're moving.
What?
What?
So that's The Bug Butcher, And Archon, hey, welcome to the show. So yeah, that's the Bug Butcher, and it's made by awfully nice studios. And if I did see I'm not sure if it's true or not, because I don't have much information, but I did see that in some of the comments. I think it's a collaboration of some of the Blizzard team. Who else was it? Am I correct on that, Kazlin? There's like a couple of developers that came together and started making these indie games.
I can tell you, I'm scrolling down, but basically, with the it's another game that's being funded by
Square
Enix.
Oh yeah, I did see that name in there too.
But the game is the Bug Butcher's one-man pest control service, equipped with an expensive arsenal of multi-grade weaponry, as we saw in the trailer. The combat of the hordes of alien bugs that terrorize mankind across the universe. Pest control with machine guns in space, one might say. More specifically, it's a 20-sided 2D side-scrolling action shooter with a twist that you can only shoot up.
It looks interesting. Yeah, you can only shoot up.
Yeah, the story, it goes on to the story. Again, if you guys want to know this, I'll put a link into the chat about this game.
And the next one was a strange little puzzle game called The Adventures of Mr. Bobley. And this Mr. Bobley, yeah, it kind of reminds me of, was it Bob the Builder? But it's a puzzle game, so we'll take a look at that. And that is The Adventures of Mr. Bobley. It's sort of a quirky little puzzle game.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah, it's physics-based puzzles, challenges, third-person platform adventures. And again, collectively by Square Enix. They made my job easy this week.
Yeah, they did.
Trying to find some of these indie games that are just not being talked about enough.
Yeah, I was reviewing the trailer before the show, and Titch comes in and goes, "What are you watching?" With the music, that music is great. So, okay.
Almost sounds like Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure music.
I know, it does. That's exactly what it reminds me of. I think that's why I went, what are you watching?
Well, it looks
Brady's
like
watching Pee Wee Herman.
we all know that we all know that the PlayStation outperformed everybody this past year and such like that. But digital console games made a whopping $263 million in January, and most of that was from PlayStation. So digital downloads are making up a bigger price of the market on consoles, and the intelligence firm SuperData Research is shedding some light on exactly how big it is. Digital console games generated They generated $263 million in January, according to SuperData. That's up 14% year over year. Grand Theft Auto and several Call of Duty games were the primary drivers in this growth, but SuperData chief executive and lead analyst, notes that horror games Resident Evil 4 HD Remastered and Dying Light were also big contributors. Sony's PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3 consoles also dominated by making up 63% of digital sales on console. Digital games on consoles, PC, and mobile is now a $49 billion category. Wow. And it's only getting bigger. Yes, PCs. And Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo are all trying to get a big piece of that pie as much as possible. So, hats off. Hats off. I can't get to my hat. It's sorry. Off.
Figuratively,
half off. Congratulations, PlayStation. Congratulations,
hats off
PC.
on my part.
So that's really cool. So last January, $263 million in January. That's incredible. That's really cool.
1 month. That's
1 month.
A month. Yeah.
1 month. 1 month. All right. So let's see. Yeah.
Would you say it was 46? Would you say it was a $46 billion
49
industry combined?
49.
$49 billion
that was
industry.
That was just digital games on console, PC, and mobile. Is now a $49 billion category. Yeah. And it's just that category.
Market.
Huge market.
It's almost bigger than porn.
Almost.
Almost bigger than porn.
Almost. Right up there. So. All right. Next up, we got Kaz's Corner. What you got for us today, Kaz?
All right. This is going to be a long debate, I can tell you that, because everybody's going to have their own opinion, and it's going to take everybody half hours to say what they have to say. So
we have till 10.
It's good for us.
We have till 10.
We can go to 12. Who cares? All right. Basically, we were talking about this earlier with a couple of days ago. All of us were actually talking about this, about investors and how they're a double-edged sword, because I might like games hard. Okay, like we all played Sid, you played EverQuest, Titch, you played EverQuest. Why don't we see more of those games nowadays? Because the investors are telling them no. So the only way we can see these is if indie developers do it. And I love the fact that we're going to be able to see some of these games by indie developers. But I hate that these investors come in and say it could have been a good game no matter what, but they say no, this game's too hard. We want to mass market it to be this type of game, and it doesn't feel that role because we want every dollar we can out of it, which is understandable because they're backing the game. But when you totally change a game or totally niche a whole genre right out of the goddamn industry, I have a problem with that. Because we might not have 10 million people thinking the same way as I do about hard games, but I sure know that we have over 1 million people guarantee that feels the same way I do about hard games. We don't have them anymore. It's just cookie cutter, instant gratification crap that we have nowadays. And I don't like that these investors can come in and, again, it comes with being a publisher or it comes with being an investor. So we talked about on Pandora's Corner a couple of weeks ago about, cutting this side of the game, DLC out of the game, because the investor figures that if we cut this piece out of the game, we can get a little bit more dollars here and there. So I don't because the investor wants their money back plus interest of whatever they did with it in the first place. I don't like that they do this because it really hurts the industry to a point where people are saying, well, you'll never get those games again. And I don't agree with that at all. I think we will get them. As time changes again, we'll do another whole 360 back to the way the games used to be. But I just feel that we shouldn't have to keep on doing these 360s. There's always a place in everybody's worlds for certain games that are being made. What do you guys feel about it?
I usually chime in first. I want to give someone else a chance.
I'd like to see more MMORPGs. I miss them. I miss the like you were saying earlier, you like Dragon Ball Xenoverse because it reminds you of the games that you loved and the grind and the drop rates and stuff. I played WoW for years. I played WoW since open beta. I miss vanilla WoW at the point that it was when it started. And I miss that kind of RPG where you actually have to work your butt off to get a character good. And I miss that. So I would like to see that kind of game come back.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I miss an MMO. I've actually, for the past couple of days, I've been trolling the Steam thing, looking for a new MMORPG, and I've played a lot of them out there. Not all of them, but I've played a majority of them out there, and I'm like, I'm looking at the free ones that they have on Steam. I'm looking at the paid, the pay to play ones, and I'm just like, it's the same thing as this one. It's the same thing as Rift. It's the same thing as Guild Wars. It's the same thing, or Guild Wars 2. It's the same thing as and I can't remember the other game that I was playing. The other one was that I was thinking of. It'll come to me, but there needs to be. I'm looking for that change in the monotonous MMORPG. One thing that I used to love, that I really loved, was City of Heroes. Vanilla. City of Heroes Vanilla. Once they started adding the new DLC content, people stopped playing the game. People were just making missions and just leveling up characters. That's all they would do, is farm levels. And no one, you'd go outside the game and there would be like no one in the zone because everyone's in this one little building making their own missions that were custom to them, so they could power level their own characters. And the game was lost, and ultimately it led to the demise, and now there's no longer City of Heroes. The servers have been closed. So, I mean, I don't think that's truly exactly why it shut down, but I think that was a major part of it, of why it was shut down. I miss games like that. I mean, the vanilla, like Titch said, vanilla WoW. I missed that. I do miss that. So I mean, I'm always on. I've explained I have really bad video game ADD, but I'm always on the lookout for that next MMO that can really hold my interest, like WoW did, because I played it for years. I did.
Or even a single player RPG would be good.
Now there have been
MMO is
But I'm also one that craves that social aspect of the game. I like co-op.
Yeah.
But I mean, look at you guys talk about WoW, vanilla WoW. But put it this way: when you were all done with content in vanilla WoW, what did everybody do? The same thing that they're doing today.
Exactly.
They sit in the major cities and don't do anything. Now, EverQuest. When did you see more than 10 people in the city? Because they were all out doing quests and doing content-wise. Because there's so much content out there to keep you busy for. That's just it. If EverQuest was back to the way it used to be, and yes, I know they have progressive service. Don't get me wrong, I played on them. But the code for their leveling system from vanilla, I could say vanilla EverQuest, but it's not. They lost that original coding for the original leveling system. So now on the progressive server, you still level slower because they cut down. They knocked it down to 25%. of the experience you get. But it's still not the same as it used to be, where you had that level 50 to 51 hell level. You know, it just doesn't seem like these guys understand that there is people out there that do want to play these games. And I said the easiest solution for them to do is to make a game, to make an MMO, and come up with 2 different rule sets, okay? One server is for casual players. One server is for hardcore players. Those hardcore players are the people like me, you know, who want that 6-month to 8-month level cap grind, you know, to get to high levels. And then the other guys, you know, can level up quick, whatever they want. You have those 2 rule sets on 2 different servers on that same game. You're gonna please both crowds. You're gonna please the casual guys, and you're gonna please the hardcore guys. But you're also gonna release the game with enough content to keep both parties happy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I guarantee you, if they make the fights the way that they're supposed to, a lot of these hardcore guys will clear content faster than the casual guys will.
Oh yeah.
Because even though it might take us 6 months to get up to max level, but I guarantee you, when we're max level, we're gonna beat the hell out of you in raid wise. That you know, we'll clear raid content faster than you guys can, because that's how different the 2 different crowds are. So that's an easy way for them to do it, and all it would take would be one investor to do this. One investor to say, okay. And I'm like you said, I played every MMO on the market. I mean, every MMO. If I started pulling out boxes here and there from down cellar and upstairs, you'd be like, you know, that's every MMO that I can think of, because that's exactly what I played. Yeah. You know? But like I said, the reason I went back to Star Wars is because I know it's not a hard game. I mean, the flashpoints are not hard, the hops are not hard. Those are not hard at all. I went back there because I like the storyline. Yes, the storyline doesn't make it, you know, I kind of contradict myself here, because I'm playing it for the storyline. I'm not playing it to be hard. I'm playing it for the storyline. So I can go and create every character, you know, I can make a trooper and go through and play his storyline. I can make a smuggler and go through and play his storyline. You know, Jedi Sage, a Jedi Knight, and then go on the bad side and make all their characters and go through and get all a wide diversity of a game. Now, am I doing it to kind of save my money in long run term? Of course I am, because if I spend $15 a month on this, where I can get, you know, hundreds and hundreds of hours just playing the guy's story over and over for the next couple of months, I know that'll last me till May, and I know The Witcher 3 is coming out in May. So I know that's going to last me all the way to May. But again, back to the original subject, is I think investors need to back off and let the game developers, the pros in the industry, make the game that they need to make. You're going to take a lot of risks sometimes doing this, but the risk and reward will be totally different and better in the long run than you obviously think it would be.
I totally agree. Absolutely.
And there are no comments?
Well, I mean, beyond MMOs, I think that gaming as a whole has become easier. I think it started with that, and now it has expanded across all genres. I keep saying that gaming now is, like you were saying earlier, Kaz. It's for the instant gratification. You know, the generations of gaming, and they want it now. And unfortunately, those old grinding MMOs and things like that are the games that these people, these new gamers, are complaining about, because they don't want to have to work for anything. They want to be able to just spend $2 and get it, or sit outside of a cave and farm. Any kind of little shortcuts that they can find. I think it is a virus that has spread across all genres, of gaming, and I miss it. I miss the days where if you died on a level, you had to start all the way back at the beginning. Now you've got these little quick save points. Every time you move a little further, you take 2 steps, the game is saved. You take 2 more steps, the game is saved, because people get mad if they get killed and they have to go back, a little bit. It's the same thing with the MMOs that you're talking about. These investors realize that these gamers, they don't want to play these types of games. They like to complain about them. They want to whine about them. They don't want to put the time into it. You and I will. Sid will. Titch will. Hardcore traditional gamers want that kind of content. They want to be wrapped up in their games. They want to work for it. They want to earn it. And of course, we're the same generation that we go out and we work for the things we want in real life as well. I think it's an extension of our society creeping over into our games, and these investors, they're trying to kind of model that the same way. Hey, let's not make these grinding MMOs because these new dudes are going to work for anything. They won't even buy our game if we put that out. So let's make these little quick ways, these little short games, these little quick gratification, let them get the big items quicker, let them farm. And it is sad. It is sad that gaming has come to this. And like I said, I think what you're striking on is a bigger issue than just MMOs, but I think that is probably where it started. It started in there, and they started, creating games from that point that, gave that instant gratification, and especially in the MMO department, to the point of now where you can't really get a good MMO like the old EverQuests and things. Those are basically gems now of games. And I miss them too.
It's really sad that that we and I feel neglected because I feel that I can't get into a lot of these games anymore because of they just don't have room for me in their universe. Because I want to work for things. I want to work. If I'm done with a game and especially an MMO. If I'm done with an MMO, if I get from level 1 to level, let's say 60 is the cap. If I get from 1 to 60 in 2 days, what the hell did I accomplish? It means I rushed to end game and I didn't get to see the whole scenery on the way up there. And that's not how EverQuest was. EverQuest was, we started and we got through, the beginning area where we had to kill 10 rats to level up, or 15 rats, and then, we moved on to the next zone, and we were cautious because we didn't know what was out there. Because we didn't go sit there running through the zone at level 10 thinking that we're invincible, we could get away from anything. Hell no, not in EverQuest, because you got your ass whipped, and you would lose all your stuff. I mean,
as soon as you got cocky, that's when you died.
Right. It's like, I mean, even like I said, when you're playing a game like WoW, okay, and there's just this orc that passes by you. Okay, and you're fighting this other orc. Now, when that other orc comes in, you're like, whatever, I'll just kill it too. And EverQuest is like, oh shit, wait a minute, I gotta back up. This other orc coming. I don't want him to jump. I don't want him to jump us. Because then you're screwed if that other orc, because the mobs hit you hard.
Oh yeah.
And the mob, you had to manage the fight. You couldn't just say, I'm just gonna take on these 10 things, and unless you were a bot who just ran around in circles. But again, a bot. The difficulty about playing a bot is be able to chain the songs together. which was all keyboard stuff. You had to click this button and click the next button. You know, constantly like one right after another to make it like a musical instrument. And that's what the bards were. They were musical players. But
the other thing was like each. I'm sorry. The other thing was that each mob had like a really calculated aggro range. So even though you were, running around, there was no safe spot to really stand, because if you lingered too long, you'd be aggroing a whole nother group.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, and there's no sense of wonder about these MMOs. I mean, I can't go out and say, listen, wow, this is pretty. This is pretty. Oh, what the hell just hit me? That's exactly what happened. In EverQuest, it's like, you stare at the scenery too long, you're going to get smacked in the mouth, because there's something in the area that's going to come get you, whether it be a little brownie who tramples across the forest to get you, or it's going to be the black stag that's a rare monster who will follow the brownies with it, and one hits you to your dead. Or like Kittico Forest, where you go in there at night, you better watch out, because it's not going to be good for you. But that's the sense of wonder that I'm saying, the sense of exploration where when you go through things, it made you fear, because you had to go and always like keep one eye open on your side, because you don't know what the hell's going to come. Or, you had to plan things strategically to the fight, where okay, I see this one orc coming towards me. Well, this other orc from this other side is coming, this way at the same time. So if I pull him, I'm going to grab him too. I have to wait until he's so many feet away so I can pull this one guy. And just the way you had to think about playing the game made it really hard, the counters, right, because you had to work for it.
God forbid you had to use the bathroom, because the only safe point was at the edge of the instance. And not even.
And it wasn't safe.
It wasn't safe.
Right.
Even then, it wasn't safe.
It wasn't safe. The only way it was safe is by hitting the log out button. For
the log out button.
You had to go take the bath.
But you had to wait. You had to wait 30 seconds before you could log out.
Right. So you have to make sure.
It was risky as hell.
Right, because when you sat down to go log out, because you had to sit down to log out.
Physically sit down.
Physically
you couldn't just hit escape, log out.
Right. It wasn't like that.
And if you moved the camera in any such way, it would reset.
or if you got hit.
If you got hit
by a mob, it reset.
And you had to start from scratch all over again. God forbid you had to use the bathroom.
I've done that a few times where I actually had to go up and really use the bathroom, and I sat the zone in, and God, there was no trains all day long. Then all of a sudden, the minute I have to go to the bathroom, here comes a train. All that experience I just wasted 6 hours getting, I just lost because I just died. Because instead of me waiting that 30 seconds.
You just brought up the point of losing experience. How many of us EverQuest have lost entire levels?
Yep.
Not just levels.
You want to talk about
5 levels.
Being pissed.
10 levels.
Yeah, there were days that Sid and I lost several levels. More than one.
Like, you had your hell levels from 50 to 51, that hell level, okay? Well, you're sitting at north, what the hell is it? The wall in Desertlands, Dreadlands. You're sitting at that wall. The wall everybody sits there and pulls from. Well, you're sitting at that, then you automatically die. Because there's one of the spiders came up and just got you from behind. And you ran like hell, because we all ran from a bad situation, because A, we didn't want to lose experience. B, we didn't want to run to get our corpse back, because we know how hard it is to get our corpse back. So we're constantly trading the zones because we don't want to die to lose that experience. That hell level took me weeks to get off of. From 50 to 51, I sat for 6 hours a day at that stupid wall, fighting the same monsters over and over again, and trying not to die, because the minute I die, I lost all that, 6 to 8 to 10 hours worth of work that I just did. And that's the difference between back then and now.
And it wasn't because you chose to hit these mobs, these same mobs all the time because these were the ones to gain that levels. It was because you chose those mobs because you knew you could kill them. You knew you could handle them.
Right. Right. It wasn't like, oh, here's a giant. You know, the giant's my level, right? And it's the same level as me. But because we actually didn't know what level they were, we actually had to con them, which we had to type into the keyboard /con to see if it's red. It means stay the hell away. Yellow means I can only take it if I have a group. To a point. Blue means, okay, well, it's a little bit, doesn't hit as hard as it should, okay? Then, I mean, white means that. The blue's like, it's a little lower than me, you know, then it goes down from there. But the way that the game was, and people say, well, that's just grinding. That's just monotonous killing the same thing over and over. No, it's not. There's a difference between monotony and grinding to be grindy. There's a difference between that and what we were doing in EverQuest. Because EverQuest, we were grinding to get levels, and we were grinding to be safe with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Because we run through Frontier Mountains to the Giant Fort and decide we want to pull all of the things in there to come out and decide to die. Because that wasn't smart. It's happened a few times. We've seen it happen, but it's just, that's what I'm saying. The way the games are now compared to what they were, people will say, well, that's grindy. And they're comparing it without even playing or why that mechanic is in the game. They didn't understand why EverQuest was so as good as it was. And again, I contribute that to, I hate to say, and I know you guys played WoW, and you might like WoW, but I think WoW is the biggest culprit of them all. Because they're the ones that introduced this genre that wasn't supposed to be for casuals to have casuals in it.
No, I totally agree with you with that. I mean,
Absolutely.
WoW, like we said, we enjoyed vanilla WoW, but then once, you know, they started doing DLC and getting more into it, and they started changing things, just changing the game. Why change the game? Why change it when it was good? Everyone was playing it, everyone was enjoying it. Why change the game? They changed the game. So I mean, yeah, I think they are the reason why we have all these cookie cutter MMOs now. So, but well, thank you so much for that, Kaz. I'm sorry, were you going to say something else?
Well, I was just saying, like, like people are saying the content too.
Yeah.
It's like, we didn't have instant content like they do now. We actually had open world content where, I'm sorry, if there was a person who got there before you, got that camp before you, it's theirs. There's no way around it. And it's not, I mean, we had camps everywhere. I mean, Crushbone Mountain had, you know, Crushbone had camps for General Crossbone, you know, and Casa Gix. You know, they had two different camps, and then you had the Trainer Hill camp. So there was always these big, you know, open environments, but you had camps all over the place where all these people can do and take part in. So, again, it's that whole investor thing. It's a double-edged sword, and I'm hoping that one day these indie developers can release a game like that can keep us veterans interested and happy.
Pandora, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I was. I think Kazlin is really onto something with this whole thing, and I'd like to, guys, bear with me for just a second because I will bring it right back. But you guys remember Dragons, the game?
Yeah, the tabletop
role-playing game that you gathered with your friends, the tabletop version.
Absolutely.
You created your characters, you rolled dice, you played together. You went on adventures, things that you still remember to this day from playing that game back then. They were memorable. You worked for it. You earned. You leveled up. You get what I'm saying, right? You earned everything in this game, and you did it with your friends, and you did it as a group. You know, camaraderie. You know, friends playing together, which is what MMOs are supposed to be. It is you and your buddies getting out there and grinding at it and starting out at level 1 and going through hell to get to the next level
Yep.
together. And it's that sense of wonder and that sense of, oh my God, remember when I fell off the cliff, Titch, and you had to come over and then you fell off the cliff. It's those are the things that you remember in games, and these gamers today, they don't want that. It's them against the world. And so they don't want to grind at it. They don't want to have those kind of memorable experiences. They would rather stab you in the back and take your items. Because that's the type of gamers that are playing today. I'll give you a good example. Battlefield 4 is an MMO. I don't care what you say, it is an MMO. You are playing with a bunch of people online. But how often have we played the Battlefield 4, Sid, and you get mad because your teammates keep killing you?
Yeah.
And there is no sense of like when we were playing Dungeons and Dragons, the tabletop edition. You ground together and you teamed up, man, and you had to strategize together, and you had to put your minds together, and you really role played. I think that's what's missing a lot in gaming today is people don't want to role play. They just want to play Call of Duty and kill each other. Pull the trigger and you're dead. Okay, wow, I've got more kills than you do. And most of them are 12, 13 years old, and they think that's the wonder of the world. Their KD. What's your KD? Oh, mine's -2. You noob. They don't care to play like we play. They don't care to grind. They don't care to fall off cliffs and then call your other over and then them fall off the cliff trying to save you. They're not going to have those kind of experiences. They're not going to have those kind of memories. And these investors do these tests and test markets, and unfortunately, that's the results they get back, and that's the types of gamers that are taking these, this test marketing, and that's why we get stuck, you and I and the rest of the gamers that love that camaraderie, love that MMO, love the grinding, and I hate to say it, but Destiny does kind of give me that feeling again. And I know Kaz hates Destiny, but Destiny right now is probably the closest thing out on the market right now that gives me that experience. I'm not saying it's perfect in that way, but what I'm saying is it right now is the closest thing to me trying to reach out to you, Sid, and saying, let's go do a raid. Let's go do a strike. Let's go do this. And how many memories do we have from playing this game,
I hate to say this.
It's not perfect, but it's better.
I hate to say this, listening to our conversation here, and by the way, Malkpond has a very important question for you, Pandora. I'll let you read that. But I hate to say it, but we're kind of sitting back here and going, back in my day, when I was a youngin', we did it this way, and we liked it. I hate to say we are, but it is also true. It is also true because the games were more thought out than they are today. So yeah, it's back for you youngins out there that don't know what D&D is. D&D also stands for Dungeons and Dragons, where you all sat around a thing called a table, which is also used to eat dinner with your family, and you'd have your game controller, which is your piece of paper with all your stats on it, and your dice. And honestly, Dungeons and Dragons had the best graphics, bar none, to date, ever and forever will be, because they are using the graphics that are in your imagination and in your mind. Dungeons and Dragons is storytelling, and there is nothing that will ever change that. I will oh my God, did you see Destiny? Did you see the newest game out, man? The graphics are Dungeons and Dragons, man. Dungeons and Dragons.
But
I was hoping I had my dice.
Pandora actually hit the nail on the head too, with the group features. How many MMOs today are you forced to group?
Right.
Almost all of them.
Right. That's what exactly.
No, I'm saying force a group. How many are you
Oh,
force
forced.
a group? None.
None.
None. Why? This is MMO is
Because you can
supposed to be
solo almost everything.
right. MMO is supposed to be a social aspect, okay? Not a multiplayer online RPG, okay? So, if you take that out of the MMO, where you're basically playing in
Single-player
a
game.
world with other people running around, you're playing with other people around, but you're playing it solo. Well, you don't have to interact with any of these people at all to do any of the quests, and that's the problem I see too with what's going on in the MMO. We're not forced to group at all.
Yeah. Dungeons and Dragons,
We-
you were a group, and you did not
Right,
Right. falter from that.
right. You had
Although-
to work together. You had to.
Although you said you had to work together, I do remember a time I killed my own partner, so. Because he was whining!
Thanks, Sid.
He was what? No, it wasn't you. It wasn't you. It was back in high school. The guy was going, I think my converter's been shot. Oh, shut up! I was just like, what the hell? Why'd you kill me,
admit-
Sid? Well, you were complaining, and we had to move on with the game. Our period time is only 10 minutes long. We don't have time for this.
To just.
Well, I
Sid. But
To
see,
just-
you have to admit, I mean, with all the shortcomings that Destiny has, and it has some shortcomings. Let's face it. It does have some things it doesn't do right. You have to admit, though, that right now, of the games that are out, that's probably the closest to what we're used to than what we're seeing from other games. I'm not saying that it's the perfect game.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying it does try to force you to group together. It does have limitations when you do strikes. You can't just go on a strike. You have to team up with you have to. I mean, you may not know these people, but it forces you to play with two other people. Now,
Well-
when you go on raids, that's a 6-man team.
I think the
You
way...
know? I mean, it's closer.
I think the way that they go about making you group is a little bit wrong. Because they're basically saying, if you want this gear, you will have to group. If you want this experience, like this, raid, these type gear drops, to get to the next level, you have to group. Instead of, if you want to have an enjoyable experience and have an adventure of your lifetime, you have to group. So I think that's...
Well, again, everything's gear based nowadays.
Exactly.
Before, I mean, it's always been gear based. Don't get me wrong. It's always
Right,
been.
but it's
to
weighing way too heavily on gear.
where when we played again, I'll bring it back to the EverQuest, where if you couldn't make it to the next level, or like the raid tiers, you had keys to unlock the next raid tier. Well, sorry, if you don't have 10 hours or 6 hours to raid that night, guess what? You're not raiding. Get the hell off the server. Go do your homework. Go do something else, because mommy can't tuck you into bed. Go do it. No, go do something that is your casual play. You don't belong getting these things that I'm be able to get, because I'm putting the time in. You're not.
We're all scheduled with it. Don't matter. Kaz brought up a touchy subject tonight, boys.
But no, I'm glad we're able to discuss this. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Pandora, he says Destiny is an MMO. You're right. In fact, it's so much of an MMO, it's actually piqued my interest, and I don't go for first-person shooters at all. But I've been watching Sid and you all play with Retro Godfather as well. He's in the chat. And I'm actually looking at it going, I wonder if I could do this game, and I wonder if I'd have fun with it. So, if it's piquing my interest, that's saying something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I keep making a reference to it because I don't know any other game out right now, especially next-gen games, that is as hard founded in MMO as I think Destiny is. Now, I know Kaz hates Destiny, But I'm saying I think they made a noble attempt at bringing back that traditional MMO where it does make you play with other people. I understand you're gearing up and you're looting and things, but I think that's more because of the genre. It's science fiction. It's not fantasy. You don't have fantasy monsters and chests out there and gems and spells and things because there's no magic or any of that. But the fact that it's a science fiction genre, I think they made a noble attempt to try to bring back team MMO playing, because it's not the same playing Destiny alone as it is when you group up with people. Now, I can tell you that from a fact, that when I play Destiny by myself, it's not near as fun, it's not near as memorable, and it's not near as exciting. Now, when I team up with Sid and a few other guys and we go at it and we grind at it, I have some great memories with that stuff. It's reflective of that. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm saying it's the best we have right now at what Kaz is talking about. So I applaud Bungie for at least attempting to do something that no one else would be trying to do right now. And that is make us play together. Make us earn things together. I think they're doing what they can in a time when, like Kaz said, there's so many investors trying to stop developers from doing what Bungie is trying to do with Destiny. So Destiny, in my opinion, is really trying to buck the system in their way, you know, because he's right. Kaz is right. The investors are trying to keep these types of games from coming out because they don't think there's anything to it anymore. Yet here we got Destiny that's come out, and it's not perfect game, but they're trying. You know, I think they really gave it an honest try in a time when, like Kaz said, investors and developers, or publishers, I mean, really don't want that kind of they don't really want that kind of game out right now. So I thought it took a lot of courage for them to do that. I really do. I applaud them for it. There are some things that like I said, that I think they could have done better, and they're trying. But it is the best we have at the time, because we don't have an EverQuest right now. The original old EverQuest. We don't have that today. Yep. And like I said, when I played Destiny, that's the closest game that I get to feeling like I'm playing the old MMO style game where I'm playing with my friends and I'm having great memories. Battlefield 4 I thought was going to be it, but there's too many individuals playing that game. It's broken because the gamers are broken. They don't play with you. They don't role play, and they don't earn things with you. You know, you can't plan a strategy because everybody's just winging it for everybody, including your own teammates. So, you know, they're gunning for you too. So, I mean, I don't know. I think Kaz is really on to something here about a niche market that was just so vibrant at one time, and here we are, fast forward to today, and we really have limited pickings, and some of them aren't doing it very well, and I think some of them are trying. So
just let me just make sure that I've got this right. We're all getting together, we're all getting our dice and our pencils, and we're playing D&D, right? Over Skype or Uber.
You know?
I would love to have one out too.
I'm
an online one now too, you know.
I'm game for that.
No, that's not the same. It's not as good. No, we have to do the pencil.
Hey, are we going to dress up in our costumes too?
They have an online board
No
game.
problem.
Yeah, they have an online board game with Dungeons & Dragons stuff.
Yeah, they do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so
All right.
I've got it
I'm
straight.
down
We're
for
all
that.
downloading it. We're playing it, right?
I think next
Look
week.
at Sid. He's plotting right now.
I think next week we'll have our. I believe we're having a special guest next week.
Yes.
We'll just instead of the show, we'll just all play Dungeons and Dragons for 3 hours.
Sounds good to me. I'm so there.
You know what? I haven't seen anybody do that on Twitch.
I know.
I know, right?
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah, they have actually.
Okay.
Like, yeah, they
That's
have.
kinda cool,
They were doing it last week. Or the
Damn,
week
I thought it was a
before.
good idea. I thought it was an original idea.
Ezekiel does every week. Him and the guys from Co-ops and Broadcast, yeah. Co-ops, and then Drop Frames. Some of the guys from them do it too. They do it every week.
I just lost
Yeah,
everything.
I actually taught my nephews how to play Dungeons and Dragons, and that was some of their best memories with Aunt Kim, is having me tell them a story, basically.
Sorry, guys. I just
Dun, 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 dun.
my Windows just dumped everything to my desktop, and I just lost all my windows. All right, so moving on a little bit. We are a little bit behind, but that's okay. Honestly, I don't care. I don't care anymore. This is more fun!
And we still very off course. We still go off course.
This
So.
is cool. No, as long as our
There's
audience is
nothing
having
wrong with
fun,
that.
I mean, that's
think that our
fine
viewers
too.
are really enjoying it.
And
Well,
and
it's
guys,
I
part
don't
of
think
the
there's anything wrong with that.
yeah, and again, guys, if you have any questions out there, let us know. Either give us a form or hey, say it in chat. I don't care. Just let us know. So
Well, apparently Dee wants me to teach him my ways. I will, Dee.
your ways.
Yes.
That's scary.
I will teach you, Padawan.
Oh. Okay. So NVIDIA, the new NVIDIA Shield console, gaming console pumps out 4K video. NVIDIA's new Shield console includes some impressive gaming hardware. The box can smoothly run games with hefty system requirements, such as Battlefield 4, Crysis 3. But NVIDIA isn't just hoping to attract the attention of gamers. The new Shield also runs Android TV, Google's new media center operating system, and can play videos in 4K resolution, making it a jack-of-all-trades home theater centerpiece. The NVIDIA Shield will cost you just under $200 when it launches in May, this coming May, and will be able to play 4K video resolution from Netflix, YouTube, and Google Play. If you have ultra high definition videos saved on your hard drive, the Shield will be able to stream those to your TV as well. Right now, the Shield is the only streaming video box that supports 4K. The Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV all top out at 1080p resolution. Not too many people own a 4K TV right now, but eventually it could become the standard. So the Shield may be a good option if you want to future-proof your streaming experience. The new Shield was announced at the 2005 Game Developers Conference on Wednesday. It will be the first device to run NVIDIA's new Tegra X1 system on a chip, SoC, which was announced in January at the 2005 Consumer Electronics Show. The 64-bit chip includes a 256-core NVIDIA graphics engine for super fast performance. NVIDIA says its SoC is more than 1.5 times fast than the Apple's A8X, which powers the iPad Air 2. It also makes the new Shield about twice as powerful as the Xbox 360, while consuming only half the power. The Shield supports the NVIDIA Grid system, which streams games from powerful servers to users without the need for the games to be installed locally. Gamers can, for an as yet undisclosed price. Well, that was a very tricky word to say. Stream games at 60 frames per second with 1080p resolution to their Shield. They can also download games from Google Play to run on the Shield as well. For gamers, the Shield ships with its own controller, but if you're just interested in streaming videos at an incredibly high resolution, you'll spend more time using the Bluetooth remote, which appears to be sold separately, according to Ross Miller at The Verge. The remote features a microphone for voice searching, similar to that as Amazon Fire TV, and a headphone jack so you can plug in a set of earbuds and watch without disturbing anyone else in the room. So that's pretty cool. I need to do my research, a little bit more research on this. May, guys. This comes out in May. So, I know Kaz is excited for it. Hey, Kaz. Hey, Kaz.
Oh, he's very
Yeah.
excited about it.
Yeah.
Has some definite opinions about it. As usual.
Yeah. I watched the whole 3-hour. I think it was actually longer than 3 hours. News section on GDC, and everything that he came out with, I literally had to wash my table because I was drooling from it. Besides it being an Android system, which, everybody's like, oh, well, my PlayStation could run Android games, this, that, and the other thing. No, the new Android games that are coming out are not like the Android games that we have now. We have the same games that we already have, like Game of Thrones Telltale series is already out on the Androids. It's going to be out playing in that. Now, here is a system that has, this 256 core CPU chip that runs its graphics, the power. It's got 16 gigabytes of RAM. Here is this thing who's running a Crysis 3. Yes, I understand it's an old game, but we all know that this old game still taxes the system today.
Oh yeah.
Because of how powerful it is.
How high graphics?
It ran it at full graphics at 30 frames per second.
Damn.
Which is pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. Now, well, you're saying that your Xbox can run 30 frames per second, 1080p. Well, any game system can run that, but every game that's going to be coming out in the near future is going to be run at 1080p, 60 frames per second by this streaming service.
Yeah,
So,
but how many
play-
handheld systems can play it at that rate? I mean, this is pretty much handheld, right?
No, it
Oh,
isn't.
I'm thinking of something different. It's a different shield.
Yes, it's a different shield.
I'm thinking of the actual handheld shield. My bad. Don't look at me
It's a
like
different
that.
shield. The handheld shield is
He was like this to you, Sid.
they
He wasn't even going to listen to you.
the handheld system is basically like a cheaper version of, it's actually not even cheap. It's actually more expensive than what they're doing now.
Right.
It's like it's $299 for that. No, it's about. I mean, let's see if I have something here. All right.
Because I think they call that the shield as well.
Right. It's
Yeah.
about this long.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's only about this wide,
Oh, okay.
and it's about literally this thing. That's it.
Think Ouya that got stomped on.
We actually have pictures of it on our website, on our news section. But basically what it is you have where you could buy the normal games off of Android Marketplace, or you could go with the streaming service and run 1080p, 30 frames, 60 frames per second. And you ask me what kind of games it can run that? Well, The Witcher 3,
Yeah.
it's not even out yet. It's running yet at that frame rate now. Where, I'm sorry, consoles now can't even run at 60 frames per second on most of the games that are coming out. Not alone 1080p at the same time with 60 frames per second. So, why is this system more powerful than both the PlayStation and the Xbox?
Because it's streaming.
Who cares? It's still more powerful. It's still
Well,
using better. And again, the price point makes it that much more enjoyable because
Yeah.
I could buy two of these, one for me and one for my fiance, or I could buy one
The
PlayStation.
device itself, the device itself is not more powerful. The grid system in which it is streaming from is as a collective. But here's my argument, and it's going to always be my argument. First of all, 4K is not a thing right now. It's not. I know everybody wants to 4K, 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 but it's still not a thing right now.
It is a
may
thing.
be in. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It might be in 5 years. It might be in 6 years. But as of right now, people just spent a fortune switching over to 1080, and I don't think they're ready to eagerly jump on 4K right now. I think there's still several years to go.
I understand what you're saying, but that That doesn't mean there's no such thing as 4K, because I can prove it to you right now.
I didn't say it's not a such thing. I said it's not a thing right now. In other words, it's not a common thing. There's not a lot of people with 4K in their homes. It's just not. The second thing is, this is not a device that you're playing on. It's a device that streams. It is a streaming device, which brings me back to what I was trying to talk to you about the other day, Kaz. That's internet. And I'm still not a cloud. I'm still not one of these people that have jumped on board with streaming and the cloud and all this right now, because we can't get our internet fixed in this. We can't get it stabilized. We are at the mercy of speeds that our ISPs are giving us. Imagine everything else. Imagine, we got Netflix, we got YouTube, we got Twitch, we got all these streaming, and this device is going to come out, and it's going to tap into the streaming market as well. It has the potential, but I want to see it. I'm not saying it can't do what it's saying it can do. I'm saying I want to see it in action in a real home when the market is flooded with them and it's dealing with crunched internet times, when everybody is at home from work, they logged onto their computers, they're watching YouTube, they're watching Netflix, they're streaming their games, they're playing games online, and then this device comes out. I want to see if it really holds up to this 60 frames per second, 1080p, or 4K resolution. If it does, I'll be the first one to admit, good job. But until I see it, it is nothing but another Ouya to me.
Well, again, we have two different sides here, okay? We have a side where...
I'm just taking the opposite side.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm going to take the side of NVIDIA, which is a company I'm not the biggest fan of, but I know when they talk about something that they do research, okay? Because, let's face it, it's only them and ATI in the graphics card industry, okay? That's the only two. That's it. You can't get any other graphics card except for those two. So, they're doing their research, and they've been doing it for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, about the state of the internet, okay? And you don't think that they're going to monitor, when people get off of work and how much the internet is flooded? Of course they will, because they're not into make a bad business decision. And this isn't a bad business decision for them, because honestly, I know that when they release the system next month, the month after, it's going to sell like hotcakes. It's going to fly off the shelves, and people are going to be buying it left and right. Now, here's where I don't see it's going to work well. A case like your home, Pandora, okay? Nothing against you, nothing, but your internet service is not what it should be, okay? So, you're the person who, if you bought this thing, you're going to be very dissatisfied with this because you can't do what it's capable of doing, okay? But we also know that you can still play the other games. You can still play the other games, okay? Because they are downloaded. I don't know how, they still haven't released how much hard drive space this thing has. So, you are going to be able to download some of these games and play them. So you're not going to get the full experience out of this console. And I understand that whole thing will frustrate you, okay, because you won't be able to play certain things that everybody else will be able to play. Now, until some of these ISPs get their head in, and this is where I see that this technology is really going to suffer, is these ISPs who will not unlock your speeds. Is what it's really going to hurt. Because, let me tell you, if everybody has good speeds across the whole country, there's not one person in their right mind who is a gamer who won't go out and buy this game. Because A, I won't have to spend another $2,000 on a goddamn PC, build a PC to play games at 1080p, 60 frames per second. I'm telling you, I'm just saying this. From the bottom of my heart, I'm a huge PC fan.
I agree.
But I won't have to go out and spend I can spend $200 to get the same exact experience. is what I'm saying. Where it's cut so much cost down that it's not where, like I said before, I can go out buy myself one, I can go out buy my fiance one, and for the same price, we could get a PlayStation 4 for. It's not. I mean, that just baffles me. This thing is so powerful what it can do right now, where the amount that you pay for this thing, you're getting a bargain for your buck. You really are. If you have good internet speeds, and you know, you're going to be able to achieve everything that this system is saying. On the other hand, if you have a bad, shitty internet, you're not going to be able to achieve everything that it's saying to. So please don't go after and lash out to NVIDIA, because it's not their fault. It's your ISP's fault. And you just go knock down their door instead of knocking down.
I'm not saying that.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not saying that this device isn't what it is. Okay? I got goosebumps when I saw the presentation. I watched the same presentation you did. And I thought, oh my God, please be this. This is what the industry needs. The gaming industry needs this. It needs this device. I got excited for it. I was like, oh my God, I hope this thing can really deliver on this. This would be freaking amazing. It's almost too good to be true. But until our internet is fixed in this country, and Google Fiber is all across the U.S., unfortunately, the reality is that as great as this machine and this device is, it is limited by the internet and the internet speeds. And that's unfair to NVIDIA. I'm not saying that NVIDIA is responsible. They're not. They've created an amazing piece of console, a new addition to the console market. I love the concept. I love the way it looked. I love the idea that I can stream from my television or stream my files from my PC to my TV. I love all the things it can do, the Netflix, the Google apps, the fact that I think it's got 16 gigs of memory with a memory slot in it so you can expand upon that memory. I like that. It's got the Android market in there. I like that. There's so many things about this device that I like, but the fear of the internet speeds, because this is a completely streaming device, scares me a bit to not maybe necessarily run out and get it, because I can't. That's the only option I'm going to have to play the games on this is via my internet. So if my internet is crappy, like you were saying a while ago, it's going to be hard for me to just run out and buy it. As much as I want to buy it, I'm still going to be forced by my stupid internet provider to keep me from being able to really to enjoy this device for what it is. Whereas with you, with your internet speeds, you're going to get the full experience, and you're going to be able to love it. But for me, as the flip side of this coin, I am at the mercy of my internet provider, and it's unfortunate that this NVIDIA device is going to be restricted to that because of our internet, and that's what I'm saying. And I love this thing. I will probably buy it anyway. But
well, again, it's not really. It's not fully restricted. It's not. That's what I'm saying. You're gonna get your game console out of it. Okay, there is still a game console where it starts streaming the games that you buy. Okay, now. There is, because you have the grid system, which is its own separate system from what it has. Now, you're going to be able to play, like I said, you can run the Crisis 3 on it, which is, yeah, it's an older game, but it's still a taxi game, 1080p at 30 frames per second. You're going to be able to play some of these other games, like the Telltale series games. You're still going to be able to play games on it, because it does have... I don't like it. We don't know how big the hard drive is going to be for the system, but it's going to have some type of hard drive. When you buy a game off of the Android market, you have to tilt down on it. Okay, you're gonna have to download those. Now,
Right.
the grid system, you don't have to download those. Those are automatically within a minute. The game's off
Right.
and be able to play. So you'll still have a console to a point where you have to download games and play the games because won't be any physical disc copies or even a disc drive to put the games in. So you're gonna have two different types of services. You're gonna have the regular console type of way, and you're gonna have the grid system. The grid system is the whole streaming, not bare bones right off the bat, where that's gonna base on your internet speeds. And I think that's where it's gonna hurt the industry, where again, if we had all the same internet speeds across the whole country, this thing will sell off like
That wouldn't be a
hotcakes.
problem.
Right. And like PlayStation 4
No, it
and
wouldn't.
Xbox, PlayStation 4 and Xbox will be a thing of the past because this thing will be doing what these other consoles were supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Well, and unfortunately,
See, it's like-
internet service providers being crappy is about 90% of the country right now.
I wouldn't say it's that high, but I think it's pretty.
It's
think
pretty
that
high.
A lot
I
of the
think it's
smaller
pretty
towns.
close.
A lot of the smaller towns kind of get the shit end of the deal, and I understand that, but it's sad and how until again, if they kind of rush Google Fiber out there, then we all would be playing on this system because we'll all have amazing internet speeds, but we don't have to worry about it anymore.
Well, Sid and I, whether he knows it or
It's
not, are
very
boycotting.
appealing.
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
Wait, what?
Did you see Sid's caught in deer in the
No,
headlights? Deer
Yeah,
lick?
he's
I
like, what?
Miss what
We
you
are?
say. I miss what you said.
I said we're boycotting it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I agree
we
with
have-
you, Kaz. I'm excited for this thing. I am. I love the specs on it. I love what it says it can do. I am, dude. I'm as excited about it as you are. I really want to get this thing. I want to get it though for a lot of reasons, and not just the gaming, but
Yeah.
just the simple fact that it streams so many different things. It only for $200. I mean, that's not much. That's pretty cheap. So you're not out $500. You're not even out $400. You're out $199. And I mean, that's for some people. I guess that can be pretty steep, but I'm used to spending, $400, $450 for consoles and things of that nature. So for me, $200 doesn't seem like it's that big of a price to do all of the things that it's capable of doing. But I do think that it comes down to it, some consumers, that's going to become the issue with them, is the ability to be able to effectively use this product because they have really crappy internet service. And I think that's probably what's going to end up deterring some consumers from buying it. When for example, that won't be the factor for the PlayStation 4 or the Xbox One. So that's where the difference comes in. People can buy their consoles, the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, and buy the disc and play. They're not bound by IP restrictions.
Well,
So I
wasn't
think
that
that's kind of what separates.
wasn't that the
two.
wasn't that the whole argument with the Xbox One when it first came out? It was going to be download only, and people complained about that, and Xbox broke down and changed it.
Well, it's the way that they were doing things is what
Well,
people were complaining about.
Well, that
You know,
too, but
it's such
but
a-
then also look at
Right.
the PS Go. The Go didn't last very long too because it was only download only. I mean, yeah, the Vita has games. So yeah, the Vita does have games, so it has cartridges now too. So I mean, it didn't last long. People, I don't know if it's just because of the society's not ready to go full digital yet, I don't know if that's the reason why, or people just don't like doing full digital. So I mean, it's a slippery line between the two. I think. I mean, the two consoles that went full digitals didn't really do very well in them. But again, that was in the past. So we don't know if this new era the society itself is ready for that. I don't know.
We're getting closer. I mean, a lot of games are becoming download only. Sims 4 is a great example of it because they didn't even offer Mac in a disc form. It's download only. And, that's becoming a trend. And who knows, maybe streaming is going to become a big trend too.
Well, they're trying. I mean, that's what the PlayStation Now is about. They're trying to stream games. It's going to happen. We might as well accept this fact. Basically, Kaz is on what is the cutting-edge technology. This is the future. And he's right. It is the future. This NVIDIA thing is where gaming is going. We don't have to like it. But in the process, the Internet is going to have to do something to keep up with this because it's not keeping up with the technology. The technology is getting better than our Internet is capable of producing. I mean, it's the Internet is the limitation here, not the NVIDIA product. It is the victim in itself because they gotta hook up to the Internet. And I mean, that place, remember the PSP Go, which was a
but
PSP
yeah,
Go was
I mentioned that.
The PSP that did all it was downloadable content. That thing failed.
But yeah, that's what I was saying.
But again, yeah, it's just people. If we had better internet speeds, I think that this market would be doing much better than it is today. But it is causing the limitations of technology. And this NVIDIA, I hope and pray that it does not become the next Ouya or the next PSP Go, because the thing that Kaz is talking about is a piece of equipment. It's fantastic technology. It deserves better, I think, than what our ISP is giving it. And the good markets that has Google Fiber and things are going to be able to really, really experience this NVIDIA product and be able to enjoy it for what it is. And they'll probably brag about it. They'll be like, it's the greatest thing ever. And it probably will be. But then you come out further south and you start getting into the smaller rural areas, and the internet speeds become limited. The NVIDIA product probably won't do as well, and that's unfortunate. I love this technology, and I want it to do well. And I think that it will do well enough to stick around. I think that this is probably going to be the first product in a long time that has come along and probably is going to get it right. Because everything that I've seen and everything Kaz has told me got me excited. I went out and done the research on it myself after he told me about it because he was excited. So I went out and I looked and I was like, holy crap, this thing is amazing. And it is. So I think maybe we might get the first actual streaming device that might stick around for a while. And hopefully our internet speeds can catch up. This is what's sad, guys. When the technology that this is greater and faster and better than the ISP, that's ridiculous. It just shows how.
We do have a bunch of questions that we should answer before we end the stream too. So just be aware of that.
All right. Well, why don't we just answer those?
Sure. Yeah, I hate to cut you guys short because it's a great topic to discuss. But who has? I know there was a question around here. I know. I lost it.
I have a bunch of them.
Okay, go ahead.
We have Milk. I don't know how to say this, but Milk Poland was asking. Milk Poland was asking.
Oh, Milk Poland.
What does Save Point Show think about H1Z1? Do we need another zombie game?
I think we
need
need
a new zombie game.
I think we need a good zombie game. I mean, I
We
like
do.
the survival. I like it's H1Z1. In my opinion, falls under the whole indie game thing. I mean, it really is an indie game, right? So, I mean,
No.
it looks like one, but I know
Made by
no.
Sony. It's made by Sega. I mean, Sony Online Entertainment.
Yeah, they're indie companies. Anyways, I'm joking, but yeah, but to me, H1Z1, yeah, it was cool, but it was too much of a cookie cutter. For what was now I can't even remember which one it is. Like 7 Days to Die. No, 7 Days to Die wasn't it? It was
DayZ.
DayZ. Thank you. That's the one I was
DayZ.
thinking. That's the one I was thinking of. It was too much, and I've played both of them, and I mean I really did not see that much difference between the two. So H1Z1 in itself, it was okay, but it really didn't hold my interest in that. And I mean, it's not out yet. I mean, it's out, but it's not out yet. It's
Well, what I would say is H1Z1 is in alpha right now, basically.
Right.
It's in early access. They have stated that this is simply the tip of the iceberg as to what they are going to add. And I have watched some people on stream play it. And if the amount of content in it that's there so far, and this is early access, and there's still more that's going to be added, that's pretty good. I feel like it's got potential.
yeah. What do you guys think?
It's made by Sony, so I have nothing but good love for it too, because I'm a huge Sony, online entertainment. Well, they're actually not even SOE anymore. They're called something else. But no, I mean, for these guys to be already ahead of DayZ, because they are physically, the engine, the way the game works is ahead of DayZ as far as their playability wise.
I agree with that.
Now, do we need all these zombie games? I don't mind them, but the problem is we're getting so many crappy ones that
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just, it's hard to tell which ones are good and which ones are not. Like, we played 7 Days to Die the other day. In my opinion, I think that's still the best survival game out, besides going back to older days like Stalkers. Stalker, Chernobyl Diaries, and Clear Sky, which was the original, zombie type of games, survival
Post-apocalyptic
games.
type. Yeah.
Yep, and that's the difference. They were post-apocalyptic, where they're not really a zombie game per se, but they were, they had that element in it.
Right.
So as long as it's done right, I have no problem with them releasing 10 more or 10,000 more, as long as they're done right.
See, I'm a huge
and
zombie
that's-
fan, so I mean, I don't mind all the zombie games. I like trying each one and every one of them as much as I can get my hands on, but there are so many out there that are just terrible, just really, really bad.
Which is obvious from his game library on Steam.
Oh God, I did.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
I just realized that too. But I mean, but again, there are some of those zombie games that are out there that are really, really good. I liked the original Dead Island. I liked Dead Rising. I liked Dying Light. But I mean, there were some of the other indie games ones that are like the Top View down to, with the RNG zombies coming after you too. There were some of them was like that too. They're really, really enjoyable games. But I mean, there are also some really, really bad ones out there. So, and H1Z1 again, yes,
well,
it's better than DayZ, but to me, it still feels like a DayZ copy as of right now. Now, I mean, they could totally change the entire game, and I could be totally wrong. So,
Well, what I was
Yeah.
saying, what I was going to say is the reason you have to look at it like this: these publishers are in the business to make money. The number one show on television is The Walking Dead, a zombie show. As long as people are buying zombie, watching zombie TV shows, people are gonna make zombie games. And as much as we might think the market's saturated, it's with anything. Anytime anything becomes the hot thing, the market gets saturated. It's just the way it is. If people would stop buying zombie games, they would go away. But if you try to make a zombie game, you better make a good one, because you're in a marketplace now where there's not as many consumers wanting to buy your game. So you're going to have to make a better game. So it's right now, it's just like people are jumping on board because zombies are hot right now, and they've been hot for a long time. So, I mean, like I said, The Walking Dead, #1 show on television, it's a zombie show. So, I mean, these video game developers are going to try to make games that reflect that, because that's what's hot. And if we would just quit buying them, that market would shrink.
I'm gonna have to. I apologize, but I'm gonna have to correct you for all of those hardcore Walking Dead fans. It's not a zombie show. It's a drama with zombies in it.
It's a survival
Oh,
show.
my goodness.
Hey, I don't want some hate mail. I don't want hate mail. I don't want all the Walking Dead
It
hate
is
mail
a
to start
zombie
pouring
show.
in.
I smell a little, hey, Kaz, I smell a little PR going on in this house in here today.
Well, just mind you that some people are watching our show instead of Walking Dead right now, so don't piss them off.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I'm a Walking Dead fan, but it is a zombie show. I don't care how they want to fluff it up. They don't care if they want to put salt and pepper on it and douse it with some A1 or some H1Z1, whatever. It's a zombie show.
Oh, no, you didn't, Pandora. After last season? Oh,
Do we have another question? Do we have another question?
We have a few more.
Okay, go ahead. What was the next one?
The next one is coming from Deeves. Where did you guys come up with the name Save Point Show?
A lot of hash. No. No.
I was waiting
Well,
for
Mary
that.
Jane, man.
You know, it was we came up with the name Save Point Show. We honestly, it was before Kazan was just coming in, and we wanted to make sure that we discussed this with everybody in the group. So we didn't want to just go, hey, this is the name of the show, this is what it's going to be. But in the meantime, we weren't able to group up with each other constantly as we are able to now. So we would throw ideas back and forth and Skype them to each other or message them to each other. So I don't remember exactly how it came up. I think we were just going, okay, so name of the show, games, video games, cool games, games are us. And then, we'd start just going off on tangents, being totally stupid about it. And do you remember anything else? We came up with a whole bunch of
we
names.
said that we wanted it to be a safe environment.
The safe environment. We want to talk about games. We wanted the name of the show definitely game related. So we were like,
Right, and every game had some type of save point.
a save point. And
So
I
every
believe,
game that you played, there's always that, even whether it just be finishing that chapter, there's a save point right there. Or you load into a new zone, there's a save point right there. So it's very game related when it comes to every game has one.
Mm-hmm. And going back to my father used to play video games with me, and he's the one that introduced me to D&D. Well, both my father and mother both introduced me to D&D on. Actually, my real name, for those of you that I've shared my real name, my actual name comes from a D&D handbook. So, their motto, and I know Titch uses it all the time, their motto is
Yep.
save early, saved often. And, I mean, I grew up playing video games.
Everything.
Well, you added that, but But the original motto was save
I
early,
know.
save often. We didn't have backups, that's why. Save early, save often, and that's what I grew up on. And you know, save point show, save early, save often, and I usually close out with that. It just kind of stuck. And we all came to an agreement for it.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Next question is by Deeps. What made you or inspired you guys to come up with the show, and what keeps motivating you guys to do so? Very good question.
We had a dream.
It was a little dream. But it grew.
We had a dream.
We did
Which
have
one
a
dream?
dream. I don't know.
Well, on Taglin's part, it was a wet dream.
Wet dream.
Then he realized he had had too much coffee milk that day.
Here. Kaz, do you need one of these? Here. You need that?
We had
I have the
No,
milk for
that's too
you.
small. Come on.
We
that's
had-
too small. I need a towel.
we had 6 billion reasons to come up with this show.
God, you did not.
You didn't just go there. Come on.
Oh my God. Oh, truth be told, we had about 2 in reality. No, we just.
He drops the mic and he's out of here. Oh my God.
Oh man, I got tears in my eyes. Oh, oh my God.
Sidious out.
Oh. No, I forgot what the goddamn question was.
Next question.
Next question. Do this.
Oh,
Yeah. What made or inspired you guys to come up with the show and what keeps you motivated to go? All right. I don't know. I think.
Can I address a little bit of that?
Go ahead.
What basically
Yeah,
motivates us to keep coming
regain our
back and
composure.
continuing to do it is you guys, the viewers, our followers, our loyal watchers. We love you guys, and we want to bring you some good information, make sure that you have information in the gaming industry and about our streams and our games, and we want you to come and have a safe place to come and discuss games and what we're all passionate about. And whoever wants to go on
Actually,
from
we
there.
just thought it'd be cool to do a show.
Yeah, basically.
We were bored. Nothing else to do.
We were bored. They're gonna be just thought it'd be alright to do a show.
I was drinking too much beer and this stops me.
For me, it was more like, you know,
Come on,
I mean,
guys, be
it's-
serious.
To tell you guys the honest truth, the reason why we do it is because of each other. Okay, we have such a really good bond with each other and good friendship that, you know, if I can't get to something that week, I know somebody will step up and take over that burden off of me. It's not that it's a burden, it's just I have so much stuff on my plate that are going on, and then Sid works 800 hours a week, you know, and he doesn't have time to do a lot of things either. So it makes us, you know, really step up to bat for each other. I truly love the guys that I'm around all the time, and females. Not just, you know, guys, but you know,
These guys, that's fine. It's gender neutral. That's fine.
we get along so well, and we have each other's back on everything. I mean everything. But what really keeps us going is to make everything better. I mean, if you watch since episode 1, we've gone and changed the show at
Multiple
least
times.
4 or 5 times.
Multiple, and we're
Because
still
of-
changing the show.
We want, right, because we want to make sure that we produce the best show possible for our viewers, okay? Whether it be 5 viewers right now or 5,000 viewers in the next foreseeable future. We want to make sure we produce the content that we all would love to see from somebody else in the industry to do. Whether it come down to reviews on a site, because we don't just do the talk show. We also have other ventures on the side that we're doing, like the website, the news sections, you know, where we're constantly, I mean, I said it a couple of weeks ago, I was actually pumping out the news faster than IGN, which is a big, huge company who has hundreds of workers. And here I am, I'm just a one-person guy doing this, and I'm pumping out work faster than they are. So I'm doing it for everybody that's in. Not to mention, we would love to get something in return out of it later on, as far as what our venture is, because we already have the long-term goals set. We already came up with it. We sat down and collectively came up with reasons and goals to step later on and do. I know this is probably a more in-depth answer than you probably wanted, Thieves, but I can't give it any other way because that's my personality. I'm sorry. But we kind of always stick together on what our thoughts are, because we've seen other shows out there. It's just basically a heaping pile of cow manure dumped on top of, you know, horse manure. You know, it's just a heaping pile of
It's deep.
great shit. Yeah, it's awful. I hate some of these other shows that just go out there and just don't tell you anything useful. It's not a show. It's just you going up there and spitting nonsense about whatever the hell topic you decide to come up with. Where we try to come up with the best discussions to do on air, and again, we might run over our 3-hour time slot because we can, and we don't try to do that often because we like to keep to our time slots, but we try to make sure that we come up with everything that we've done, whether it be reviews, whether it be YouTube videos, whether it be, you know, anything that we do, we try to do with the highest quality possible. I understand we do have technical issues here and there, and there's nothing we can control about that because of, you know, the software we're using, or the internet decides it wants to take a dump right in the middle of our podcast. There's nothing we can do about that. But we try to do everything we can to produce what we would ask the industry in return. I don't know if that really is the answer you want, Deeves, but that's my opinion.
And again, going back to Titch's explanation, we do. I almost said doo-doo. We do this for you guys. We do it for the viewers, man. And as because we do it for the viewers, I know that wasn't a sentence, but I'm going to use it anyways. If you guys have any suggestions for us, please let us know. Because we do look at every we do listen to our viewers. We do try to talk to you guys and get all your questions done. Sometimes we can't do that, but we do try. And if you guys have any suggestions for us, you know, what would you like to see? We'll definitely talk about it and take it in consideration, and we'll see what we can do about it.
Dee's asking another question. You just said
too.
Okay, good.
To kind of add a little bit in here too. I mean, think about this, Deeves. It's imagine your group of friends, and I mean really tight knit group of friends, all sharing the same loves, all sharing the same passions, and all having each other's back, talking to each other every day. We do that. That's what we do. We love video games. We love movies. We love a lot of different things. And we decided to come together as a group of friends and to try to produce a good show that you guys would like. And so what we did was we started watching other shows and watching other streams and seeing what was good in their streams, what wasn't good in their streams. And we decided, hey, let's do our own thing. And let's try to produce the hot topics, the big news, and the stories that you guys want. And I'm trying not to laugh at Sid. while I'm talking.
I'm sorry.
She's giggling up there.
I'm trying not to laugh because of the damn chat. Sorry.
I know. I'm trying not to read it.
I'm trying not to
But,
read it
you know,
either.
we, you know, so close. We're like family, and we came together under extreme circumstances. We came together under some stress, and it bonded us and it unified us, and we grew strong from that. And because of that, we decided we were going to take that and take the energy that we have and the positive energy that we have and put it together and create the Save Point Show. And each week we spend every single day of the week compiling the best news stories that we can to bring to you guys on Sunday. We also read everybody's comments and try to adapt the show so that it's viewer friendly, because we do want to hear what you guys have to say. If you guys think that this certain segments are just a waste of time, we get rid of that and we'll bring in a news segment. So that's why we look forward to doing the show, because the show's always changing. It's always advancing, and it's exciting because we've seen it go from our first show to this show, and we've been able to go back and look at the shows and just see the progression, and it's so exciting. And so it fuels us to do it again for the next week.
Especially
Not to mention
since
all the great comments and stuff.
Yeah, especially since it's only been 7 shows. It's only been 7 shows, and we've made this much progress. I mean, you guys are definitely keeping us alive, and we appreciate that. And yeah, by no means do we think our show is perfect, because we know damn well it is not perfect. And I think that's what makes our show so great, is because we aren't perfect. And like I said earlier in the show, this Save Point show would not be a show without some technical difficulty one way or another. We cannot get away from it. So, but you know, we power through that, and we do the best we can. We just make the best of it. So, we're family. I would jump in front of a bullet any one of these people. Well, of course, my wife, of course. But Pandora, Caslin. Now, I would jump in front of a bullet. That doesn't mean to say I can, because you guys are way too far away.
Well, we'll try to change that.
Archon, thank you so much for the follow.
Hey, Deeb has another question. Caslin was
Sure.
going to read it. So.
Yeah, go ahead.
He says, I feel like you guys give us so much. How can we as viewers contribute aside from views? I mean, everyone who is here loves your show, and I became a fan for the first time I watched your show last week. I could start off with that if you guys don't care.
Sure, go ahead.
We love that you're enjoying your time here. We love that you came here last week and really, loved the show from last week on. And we hope that you stick around with us and help us, keep on helping us grow. But any word you guys can do as far as tweet us out on Twitter, or post on Facebook, post anywhere, go down the street, or if we know other gamers, who watch shows like this, tell them about us. Just the more help we get for view-wise, the easier it is for us to continue to do this, because I mean, Sid works all these crazy hours. Titch puts in a lot of hours for the show. Pandora puts a lot of hours in the show. I spend most of my day putting the hours into the show, as far, with the website and trying to get people to come here to do interviews on air, and
crazy amount of work for us.
But I mean, it's not easy for all of us, because we have other things that we have to do in life as well. So I mean, money donations would help the show grow as far as be able to pay for the site, or to get some better equipment here and there, for the show as we progress later on. We're not saying you have to donate $10 million to help us. We're not at all. But every little dollar would help as far as in production-wise of the show, because eventually, I mean, we're me and my fiance are talking about moving somewhere, and hopefully, we can start the business up for this, and this is ultimately what it's going to be, is become a business for all of us. You know, whether it be, you know, streaming in, and we want it to be a media, you know, business where we can do other things besides just talk about games. And we'd love to talk about movies, you know, have a show about movies at one point, but it's right now it's very hard for us to have more than this show, because we have, you know, Sid who works crazy hours, and you know, Titch can't be around some of the times, or Pandora, you know, he's busy with his personal life, and we all understand this. So we anything, so any help with trying to get our name out there is much appreciated, and that's the bottom of our heart. The more you guys can help us that way, the more we'll appreciate it. And we understand, you know, that Retro's I'm trying everything I can not to laugh about Retro's comments.
I'm sorry, I just
Because I'm trying to read. I'm talking and reading what he's saying.
He's pouring his heart out. He's pouring his heart out, Retro.
God, I gotta get off camera.
I just would love to see.
God, I gotta get off camera. Oh, Retro.
Retro made me snort twice on stream. That's not cool.
But I mean, I hate to be long-winded like this, but I mean, it's. I have to say what I feel when it comes to this, because we all put so much time into the show to try to make it the best it can be. So any help that you guys can do, whether it be just even send us feedback. That's what the forums we do. You know, I constantly looking over. My fiance's over here, you know, on her own computer, who skims through her, you know, what's going on, whether it be questions or anything else. So, you know, and that's what I have to say about it. I mean, you guys can go ahead and say what you have to say now. Sorry.
What was the question?
You're fine.
Well, that's okay. I will like to add a little bit to it. It's not as probably as lengthy as his, but his was covered pretty much for all of us. I think another thing that really you guys could help with is just telling us what you like about the show and what you don't like about the show. Feedback is everything. Without you guys giving us feedback, we don't know what you guys like. We don't know what you don't like. So I think that, you know, like Kaz said, you know, tweeting it out when we're streaming, that's a big help. But also while you're here, and even when you're not here, filling out the questionnaires and things, and submitting ideas to us, because we're not so in love with an idea on the show that we can't change it. And so without your guys' suggestions, we don't know how to model the show. So, you know, we try this thing and we'll try that thing. If it works, we keep it. If it doesn't work, we scrap it. But I think Kaz nailed it on the head with everything he said. There's really not much more you can say, but I just want to elaborate a little more on the feedback, because I think the feedback and the questions that come up in the chat are a big part of how you guys can help this show. And I'm going to stop at that.
Supporting our streams. You know, being there for us when we're streaming, whether it be Save Point Show or individual streams. We love you guys, and we want you there for every aspect of our streams and our gaming life. Go, Sid.
Well, I can't say anything more. I mean, you guys, I love each and every one of you, especially our viewers as well too. Yeah, I mean, just word of mouth. Tell your friends, tell your family. I tell people at work. It's kind of odd how some of the doctors got interested in, just because I happened to be talking about it in the hallway. Retro, Dr. Jenkins, he was like really interested and was asking me all about it. It was kind of weird. So yeah, I mean, just word of mouth, man. So and then, you know, just be yourselves. I can't say much more.
Part of a gaming guild, you know, online, and you have friends who are interested in gaming talk shows. refer them to us. You know, let them know that this is out there. A lot of people don't realize it.
Chad Malto, thank you so much for the follow.
Spread the word, yo.
All right, I'm gonna, we gotta
the
wrap
word,
it. We gotta wrap this up, or we're just gonna keep going on and on and on, and that's gonna be a long download for me to post on YouTube. So, but it doesn't matter. I'm just making fun. So, but thanks for joining us again. This is our 7th episode. 7th, right? Yeah, 7th episode, and we are the Save Point Show. I'm Sidious67.
I'm Titchery.
Your Pandora.
And Cat is 143.
And again,
He was in the zone.
we're Sticks Broadcasting. This is the Save Point Show. Remember to save early, save often, and spay and neuter your pets.
There you go. That's a good one.
All right, we'll see you next time. We'll see you next week, guys.
Love you. Bye.
And he's Divix.